Them niggas shrink around you, man. You know what I'm saying? They just in the space probably before you was a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But them niggas shrink when you come around. That's why them niggas don't want you around.
Situation with the genders and all of that shit that we've been hearing about. And there's nobody better than the Gore philosophical to come set that bitch off.
Yo, you know the game been.
What up? We back. What's going on? Hope you had a good holiday week if you celebrated Christmas. Hope you was able to, bless your loved ones and be blessed. Whatever you got out of the holiday spirit, I hope you got it. It's going to be I think, an interesting show. I think this is going to go probably straight to the member section after this. Like a lot of people don't realize, it's like, I don't know, my journey in this space has been very interesting. When you go viral for talking, and it ain't about the viral, but when you get put onto a certain radar for talking to, women, and sometimes people try to put you in a box. So it's like people try to define you, what you talk about. And it doesn't bother me because I'm gonna still talk about what I want to talk about. But what I realize is that when you do that, no matter what you say, somebody's going to be taken back or offended. You know what I'm saying? And it's like being in this space, and you can see how both sides could feel like something can get redundant, or they can feel like it's all about them. And it's like, I get it. So it's like I when I make content, it's not always. I try to be, I be as truthful as I can and honest, and I try to speak from a perspective that is inclusive to possibility of remedy, at least, But I get a lot of content like sent to me from men a lot about just different clips of women and a lot of their stories, and just going by what I personally go through. And it's like, I feel like my age demographic, I'm an 80s baby. For people in our age bracket, I feel like we had a place relationship-wise where it's like, it just seemed like we want two different things. We have two different things. Shout out to the people in the chat. Shout out to Miss Plum. She said, yes, the redundancy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, though, when I just hear a lot of different things. Sean, you can come back. I seen you pull up. I don't know if you're having technical difficulties, but I just see a lot here. I just hear a lot. When I see the men talking, it's like, I feel like beyond the talking points, I feel like there's a contingency of men saying, we can do better. I can learn a little bit more. I can be a little more prestigious. I can become a little more educated, add more skills, just try to level up, and lately when I just hear these conversations about the women, because I swear I don't be wanting to go there. It's like it's so much stuff that women be saying, and when you're dealing with women in real time, so many things you go through, experience with them, it's so much that it's like you get kind of numb to it. But sometimes you have these moments where it's like you see so much, you evaluate things you've been through, and you gotta just talk about it, just address it. These are one of these conversations. This is a candid conversation. This is not, I'm not gonna act like this is a super solution-based show. This is just a real honest conversation, and just something I noticed in, just like when I speak to women, I speak to men, it's just two different mindsets talking about how they look at things. And it's like, I don't even think certain demographic, that's why I say a lot of times, just learning how to get along, I feel like it's something we need to figure out, at least, because relationship-wise, I just hear a different mentality from women when they speak publicly about, what it means to be a woman, or it just, every day I'm just hearing something that just like, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I get that the redundancy can be a bit alarming, ladies, because I understand it too. And I try to bring variety in my content, but I am a man. And a lot of men send me stuff, they send me content, they have conversations with me, and it's like, tonight is one of them nights where I'm definitely talking to the fellas. You know what I'm saying? If women want to chime in, they're definitely free to do that. But I think this is one of those conversations where I'm really talking to the fellas, and it's just like, it's just a powwow, really. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing if it's the only person that sees what I see. So I have a medley of videos that I've seen over the last few weeks that have caught my eye that I want to share, because one thing I've noticed, a lot of things that's always spoken a lot of times, I hear women talk about things like emotional intelligence. And I need a man that's emotional intelligent. That's just a word that is thrown around a lot, like narcissist, toxic, emotional intelligence. These are words that I just hear a lot. And even when doing this content, even with when you see certain women doing this content, I think the problem with men are that what we think or what we've been taught about women is not matching the reality of women. You know what I'm saying? And the women still, in a lot of cases, stand on what we was taught, but it's just the actions just really are confusing. And it's like, when I think of emotional intelligence, I don't know if a lot of women are emotionally intelligent in today's times. I feel like based on the way men have to be held, the standards we have to be held to as far as decorum at work, as far as school, just in public, I think we have to learn emotional intelligence because it can go left for us a lot quicker. When I look at women counterparts, even, regardless of race, because, for every Keisha, you got what they call the Karen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, peace, everybody pulling up. Please hit the like button, donate to the channel. Like I said, it's going to be one of those conversations tonight. We rocking out. Yeah. When you see the Karen, for the ratchet woman, I guess that counterpart could be the Karen or the poor white trash, whatever. But what I see is an allowance of behavior that doesn't really require emotional intelligence. So it's kind of harder for women to have emotional intelligence because no one allowed. Let's go. We got Sir Hell in the building. Sir Hell. I'm gonna drop the link soon. You want to pull up? You can be free to do so. But there is an allowance for emotional expression, regardless of how it makes other people feel, that women are allotted in a lot of times. And it doesn't affect them socially. It doesn't affect them professionally. It only affects them when they meet us. The only time they're confronted with their issues of emotional intelligence is when they meet a man. And when I say a man, I mean a man that's willing to tell them the truth. That's the only time. And that's why it's so foreign to them. But yet they tell you that they understand emotional intelligence because they're emotional. Because you're constantly in a state of emotion doesn't mean you figured out how to manage that. That's like somebody that's from the hood and say, well, I'm from the hood, so that doesn't mean you got shot. That doesn't mean, like, living there doesn't mean you went through everything that comes with that. So being emotional doesn't mean you figured out or you have managed a good gauge on your emotions. But the way we was taught to look at women is we associate them with love, romance, and emotion. And that's just not the reality that I see. Can it be the potential inside of women? Of course. But when I look at today, I just don't see that. What I see is a lot of men that give their hearts to a woman. Even if he gave it to multiple, even if he did with his girl and the side girl. I see a lot of men that give their hearts to women, but I see women that give their body to people. And I think we get that confused a lot of times. And you can just tell by the dynamic of how men are responding to the emotional frustration of the women. It's more of an emotional thing. With women, it's really just a physical thing. You know, even my body, my choice. It's they're not giving their hearts to anyone. It seems like they're just giving people their body, and they think it's really an interesting dynamic. But we got our first guest, Sean. What's going on?
What up? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? How
yes,
sound?
I can hear you well.
Okay. Yeah, Sean, I was just talking a little bit briefly before, because I got a medley of videos that we're going to have a good conversation with. They're all just going to flow back to back to back. And I was just talking about emotional intelligence and how the misnomer is that we're not emotional intelligence. But today I was thinking about it I was talking to my bro, and I'm like, we're definitely emotionally intelligent because we have to be. And when I look at the standards that men are held, especially black men, are held to in society, because and I think all men, but I think black men especially, because even in society, even our white counterparts, male-wise, they're allowed to kind of act out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I also see that with white women and black women. So it's like for every ratchet or unruly supposed black woman, you got the Karen. What they all have in common is they're allowed this emotional outburst without proper repercussions. So it's like when you look at what they all have in common, is they're all talking about somebody to understand them. It's like they're having problems. They all have that in common. Black men have to be emotionally intelligent more than everybody in this country. And I feel like women are not emotionally intelligent because they don't have to be. And I feel like the only time they're confronted with that burden is when they meet us. How do you feel about that, Sean?
I think there's a lot of relevance to what you're saying. Yes, a lot of women are not emotionally intelligent. I would say a lot of men aren't either, but we're not talking about the men right now. We're just speaking about the women. And I've been having this conversation pretty routinely over the last week or so with a lot of different women. And the reason why is because basically they just want to do whatever they want to do, which is, I will give the example of a child saying, I want candy for dinner. I just want to eat candy. Candy makes me feel good. I like candy. And people continuing to feed them candy. And I think that's kind of equivalent to what happens. And we're the people, the bad guys, or whatever you want to call us, who say, no, you're not eating that candy. No, you're not going to have candy for dinner. Yeah, I might give you some candy at some point. I'll give you some privileges, but without order, there's no structure. Without structure, there's no possibilities of being able to grow properly. And unfortunately, we being men, we have a tendency, regardless, to bring forth structure, bring forth order. Because if you can do whatever you want to do, then guess what? There will be no laws. There's no reason for rules. We have to enforce sometimes those rules, and they don't like that. And that's just the reality of what it is. You're on mute.
I think not just necessarily just rules, because I think a lot of men have realized that certain words and certain approaches, at least initially, or at least just on the surface, they don't even try to come at women with so much rules per se. I think it's more, when I talk to men, I think the issue is, because a lot of us have accepted that you're dealing with the modern mindset. This is not grandma. So it's like certain concessions and mental allowances are kind of made. And as long as they don't take it too far, I think it's just the accountability of addressing things and when I talk to a lot of women, it just seems like they really don't know how to just be accountable for things. Like, forget rules. We're just talking about rules of engagement, not necessarily do this, do that. It's like, it just seems like a lot of times, and I want to hear what you said. You said men too, but I think men are kind of like, when you say men don't have emotional intelligence, I think we both have issues, but I think that men try to, and then I think their lack of emotional intelligence shows based on how they're responding.
Well,
not necessarily initiating.
you're right, but the reason why we have it differently is because we're faced with consequences for our behavior more often. They're excused more often with having consequences for their behavior. Similar, and that's why when I argue with Mr. Let Go, when he said women are children, they will prove me.
Shut up to Let Go. I be trying to disagree with. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. I argue with them all the time, and as soon as I argue, someone will come and do exactly something to prove his point.
Absolutely, and it's like I see it a lot. You know what I mean? I just try not to talk about it, but I feel like addressing it today based on things I've seen, just the year I've had, what I've experienced over the last few years, and just a lot of content I've been seeing, and that's sent to me from a lot of brothers. And it's like a lot of my brothers want me to touch on this. So we're going to get into the medley of videos I have tonight. All right. We're going to pause between each. It's about 7 of them. They're going to spark some great discussion. We're going to start with the brother Trip Fontaine. Let's see.
That there's only room for my emotions when they're convenient for the woman that's asking me to be emotionally intelligent. That any emotional labor I do that's not for her convenience, or not that she's something she specifically asked for, that either goes unnoticed, or when I'm saying something that's not favorable, the shit gets used against me, and it becomes about how she feels about what I said, and not about the shit that I said.
Let's stop right there. There was so much to unpack there. I like brothers who could speak like that, because just in one sound bite, you can have 20 conversations. I like stuff like that. Sean, where'd you go, man?
I'm here. I'm here. Hold on, let me get my camera on. I'm here,
man.
I'm here. So play that again, please.
Yeah, let's take that back. Let's take that. That was heavy. Hold on, my fault.
Room for my emotions when they're convenient for the woman that's asking me to be a pretty emotionally intelligent dude. I've noticed that there's only room for my emotions when they're convenient for the woman that's asking me to be emotionally intelligent. That any emotional labor I do that's not for her convenience, or not that she's something she specifically asked for, that either goes unnoticed, or when I'm saying something that's not favorable, the shit gets used against me, and it becomes about how she feels about what I said, and not about the shit that I said.
Like, that was a mouthful. So yeah, go in.
I definitely seen this one, and and he was hitting it right on point. Even to the point of when we continue the video, what the regular reaction from women are, instead of embracing and acknowledging what he's saying, they resist, or they feel like they're being attacked. And the reason why I said rules and earlier is because what I realized, and I asked this, somebody came to me earlier this week and said, I just want a man who will like me as I am and not try and change me. And I said, why is that? Why would you say something like that when any type of growth takes change? So you want to sit there and be comfortable in not being able to grow? Is that what you're saying? Because you don't want to be uncomfortable, or you don't want to be stretched? And so what
While requiring you to make all the growth, while requiring you to grow in many ways,
well,
physically,
you know what's interesting?
financially, it's crazy.
I'm not required to. I just enjoy doing it. I have that type of mentality that I want to grow, and I want them to be able to help me grow. Mm-hmm. And if you're refusing to, for whatever reason, then you are becoming a liability to our existence. And I'm not just talking our existence if we're romantically involved. That's any existence that you have that we're going to be engaged in. You are now becoming a liability and jeopardizing that by refusing, very consciously refusing, to not cooperate or to not want to grow. And when I asked that question, her answer was, I don't know. I said, well, you need to think about it.
Yeah, because it's like the mindset of the modern women for men our age is like it's forcing men to be it's forcing men to really lock in, and it's causing a coldness in men that I don't think that is. It seems like it's bothering us more than it's bothering them that we can't bond. It's like these conversations are just exposing a lot more. And I'm talking about the 35 and up. This is this conversation tonight. This is not just for those of us who have been around the mulberry bush already. You know what I mean? It's one of those talks tonight. So I feel like men are more frustrated from true connection more than women are.
You're right.
Like, I don't think their gripe is connecting. Their gripe is control. Their gripe is, why do you need so much from me? Why do you need accountability? It's like we've been sold to them that they're just the figures of love, and they've been sold to us. They've been sold to us as these figures of just unconditional love, and we've been sold to them as these sex crazed simps. And it's like they're giving so much of their sexuality out, especially like even when you meet women, like for getting head is the new tongue kiss. Like a woman to put her mouth on your body before she opens her mind to you. Hopefully she'll come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're not really they feel like we're so turned up, because you ever knows when you talk to a woman about dressing sexy, the first thing she says is, but that's what men like. No, that's what you think we like. They really think that that's all we want. Like we of course we want sex, but we don't want you to keep it just on Front Street all the time. And it's like, since we're not accepting that, it's confusing them. Like, what you mean? You want more than just my sex? And men are like, what you mean? You really not loving like that? It's like we're coming to this crossroads of who we thought we were. We're not that. Like, how do you feel about that perspective, Sean?
I believe that not only is that the truth, but there's a lot of reasons for it. I asked a question with the same with a few young ladies because of that topic that I just shared with you, and the question was, why? The extended question was, why is it that you will invest time and energy and put in work for your job, put in work for your accolades, whether it be your education, whether it be your self-enhancement, or whatever the case may be? You'll put in a lot of work for that. But when it comes to a relationship, you want it to be easy. And that's really what it boils down to. They want it to be easy, and they expect us to provide that ease, when in fact, nothing that you achieve that will be successful comes easy. And that's what we're seeing the result of. But I'm like, yo, if you put that much time and energy into a relationship as you do your job, as you do your accolades, as you do your education, as you do becoming a boss, as you do all these other things, you will have just as much success.
Yes. Shout out to DJ Wish Doctor. What's good, my boy? He said the connection we value, crave from them outside of sex, they sometimes get that from each other or elsewhere. Most men don't have a substitute. That's an excellent point. It's like they love each other. At least they pretend, because they realize they don't even like each other. But they emotionally be there for each other, but they use men. They don't think we have any feelings. And we think that they're just these lovey-dovey creatures, and it's like it's just not true, man. It's just not true. But shout out to Wish Doctor. We got our first super chat. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate it. He said, it's a little iller piece of the family. You already know, brother. Thanks for the support. Support the channel, y'all. Support the channel, man. Real conversation, real talk. You go ahead, Sean. You about to say something?
Yeah, you chimed in on something, and I don't want it to be you and I. I hope there's some women out there who want to join us, because these are actual questions. I want them to help us understand.
The link is in the chat. Like, you know what I mean? It's an open panel. It's not a closed panel. Yeah. You know what I mean? If people want to contribute, they can come.
Right, and we're going to reemphasize that, because quite frankly, a lot of times it comes off as if we're trying to change them for manipulative and deceptive reasons, because that's what they have been used to, because what they're used to is men who are not doing things genuinely, who are doing things deceptively. But they lean into that and embrace that because they enjoy hearing how good they are. They enjoy hearing how wonderful they are. And then when somebody tells them that the crap smells, they want to get defensive as if somebody is attacking them, not even recognizing a loving man versus a manipulative man who's just trying to get in your panties.
Yeah, because the road to greatness is a constant road. And sometimes practice is harder than it is another night. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things happen on that journey to bettering yourself, and she helping better you, you helping better her. You're going to have challenging conversations. Like, it's all the bettering process. It's not just adoration on both sides. Like, and that's why I'm saying all of these things to me fall under the category of emotional intelligence. And I feel like the reason why a lot of these conversations are not going anywhere is because a lot of the women are just not being honest about a lot of stuff. It's
that's what you tapped into. I'm sorry for interrupting you. That's what you tapped into, that word honesty. They get lied to. They lie to each other, and they enjoy the lies. And then when somebody points that out to them, they lie and say, that's not the truth. They lie and say, I don't know what you're talking about. And sometimes I will even give the benefit of the doubt that some people really don't, because they so used to embracing a lie, and society lies to you, gives you the fairy tale. Then you have your girlfriends lying to you. Then you have men who trying to get into your panties lying to you. So in fairness, you are lied to pretty often. But when a man comes to you and tells you you're being lied to and you're falling for it each and every time, why do you fall for it? You act as if they're attacking you, which is another lie to yourself.
Exactly. Let's get back to the video. It's a lot on here.
Too much shit. Somebody cry. Somebody cry. Somebody cry.
So what? All I'm saying, because saying that, all right, now we got our own money, we want y'all to be emotionally intelligent. That's a great argument until it becomes a real life situation and you start to deal with an emotionally intelligent. And you realize it ain't been enough of them in your life, and you don't know what to do with that type of man.
You're not lying. You're not lying. This is fact.
Sweetheart,
This is
My baby, if all you done had is dudes that don't know how to express themselves, don't come sitting in front of me, a nigga that know how to express himself, complaining when I goddamn express myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Women have no emotional intelligence. The reason that as women we want to believe we have emotional intelligence is because we are emotional. The fact that we are highly emotional is actually the biggest indicator that we have very low emotional intelligence, because being emotional is having no control over our emotional state. High emotional intelligence is the ability to be pragmatic, to see things realistically, and to make choices and respond to life not from an emotional place. It's the ability to be in control of our emotional state and operate in life from that place.
And that adds on to what I said earlier with we're not allowed not to be. Like, I don't know, my screen keeps freezing. Y'all can hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We're not allowed. We don't live in a world where we're allowed to be. And by default, that's going to make you more emotionally intelligent because you have to be. And women don't have to be, whether they're any race, and male-wise, and I got good white folks, white male friends, but just historically and even up to now, they didn't have to have that emotional decorum. And I don't want to bring up police brutality, but even without brutality, police even deal with them differently. Like, they're allowed to have outbursts and this is bullshit. Like, a lot of people have to act just are allowed to be that way, but we're not. Peace, brother. This is your first time pulling up. I don't think we ever met. If you want to add to the conversation, go ahead. Add to that if you hear something you want to chop in on.
Yeah, I'm just not jumping into the show. So
Okay.
I saw the topic of the show, so I don't know where you are right now. Are you still on that topic, or are you somewhere?
Well, I'm gonna play this clip.
Okay.
Did you see the clip we just played?
Yeah, I'm just jumping into it, so play it so I can get the drift of
Okay.
the conversation.
We're talking about emotional intelligence, and basically, I just realized that a lot of times that we've been taught about women emotional intelligence is really not accurate. I feel like we have a false sense of their sensitivity, and they have a false sense of our sexuality because they're flooding us with their sexuality, and they don't still understand why we want more, because they've been convinced that that's all we want. And on the flip side, we can't believe that women are not these emotionally soft flowers that we was raised to think they are. Like, we've both been given a false sense of what each other is, and I think that misunderstanding is clashing hard today.
I think what the issue is, I don't know if you remember years back, when the original definition of emotional intelligence and how it was used was actually more holistic. But then how women were using it, it wasn't how the definition came out originally, right? How they use it was like a manipulation tactic to get men to be like them or to think about things from their point of view.
That's a good point.
We're not supposed to. We're supposed to be logical, more structured, and more disciplined. But it was basically a tactical way for them to not take accountability for what they were not doing. Because when Black Manosphere came about, you started to identify certain things. So then their play move was to say, okay, you guys lack emotional intelligence. And it wasn't used how it was originally described. It was used as a manipulation tactic. So I'm saying? So that's where the misalignment of it is. Of how it was used as a what's the word? As a malicious way, I want to say. It wasn't used honestly. And then now when brothers started looking up what the definition of it was, it means to, understand where the other person is coming from, not really give up your logical sense, right? But when we start, that's when they started getting to where it originally meant.
Facts.
I learned it there.
Bet. So I'm gonna play the clip real
fact
quick.
that we are highly emotional. The reason that as women we want to believe we have emotional intelligence is because we are emotional. The fact that we are highly emotional is actually the biggest indicator that we have very low emotional intelligence, because being emotional is having no control over our emotional state. High emotional intelligence is the ability to be pragmatic, to see things realistically, and to make choices and respond to life not from an emotional place. It's the ability to be in control of our emotional state and operate in life from that place.
That's actually what it originally meant, but that's not how they were using it.
Exactly. This next video is what really, like, to me, just spoke volumes to some of the things that kind of displays this emotional intelligence gap. And that's it. Really, this clip really speaks to the modern mindset of women based on this attention economy. And I feel like that attention that was saved up for their man can just be given to them any moment, anytime, any place, and it hits that dopamine with this social media. And one thing about social media, with everybody, but especially women, you're curating perfectly crafted pictures to get you in the most fondest moments, when you're in the best places. And I think it puts them in this mindset as if like they're always on television. It's like, it's really deep when you think about how they value this attention as real value and real bargaining value. And this clip, this one was talking to Cam Newton about, I think she has a show or something like that. And she was talking about baddies and, you know, their value or lack thereof. This clip, Sean? I guess you did. Well, we gonna watch it again, man.
I see. Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
Hold up. Serious.
Because I pay the bills.
He said, why should a man take you serious?
So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than anybody in America on a 9-to-5, you got a good job. My bitches is paid. So at the end of the day, you said, why should anyone take a baddie serious? Because we pay the fucking bills.
Why should a man?
Because we pay the bills.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What if you're dealing with a man?
It doesn't matter. Well, first of all, I mean.
Look how she don't even let him talk. Yo, she don't even let him speak, man. Like, so far, Sean, what's this video? What's something you seeing wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture?
Well, what's wrong with it is that you pay the bills. Difference is you're not paying our bills. We pay your bills. Now, if in fact you paid our bills, then maybe you might have some relevance to that statement. The issue is you want the privileges of a man, but you don't want the responsibilities of what a man takes on. That's
exactly, because we know damn well when she said we pay the bills, you're not paying no one's bills but yours. So to even bring that up, it's like, what does that even mean? What was the point of you bringing it up? What does it validate? I think that this social media economy, it's like, I don't know, Meek Mill, not Meek Mill, what's his name? Murder Mook. He was battle rapping. He was spitting a verse in front of Amber Rose, and he was like, no talent is the new talent. And I think that the dangerous part of today is that it allowed women, and men are partially guilty for this because they're patrons of a lot of this stuff. But as far as the sexual part, but as far as the ratchet imagery, our women invest in that the most. And I think with this ratchet shock moment, viral content culture, it has created a new value that isn't value, and that's attention. And now you got a lot of women who can use attention and leverage it for real finance, real deals, real endorsements. Creates a real problem because now you have a person who's a man, for example, or anybody they choose to be with, whether they choose to be with a man or a woman, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they often want somebody that's accomplished, that got something. Most of the time in this world, unless you're an anomaly, you have to work to be get like that. You might have to go to school, you might have to put in, get a skill, you might have to show some type of discipline to get to that. And emotional intelligence is required with that too. Now you got these people shoulder to shoulder with people who are in their seat economically, but they didn't have to do what it takes to get there. But they have that arrogance as if they did that or even more. And I think that's totally changing the whole relationship dynamic. You got OnlyFans girls or just women who are famous because they're ratchet, making the same amount or more than a lawyer or a doctor or a sergeant or a scientist. So, you know, somebody who has a job that adds value to the world.
To the world, yeah.
Really acquiesce to someone who's just lit. Like, that's crazy. How you feel about that, Sean?
I agree. I mean, what it is, I'll say it again. You want the privileges of a man, but not the responsibility that comes with that authority. So if in fact you want to claim this bad B scenario, then do what a man does. When your man comes in, take care of him. You don't do that. You expect, as a matter of fact, you're not even qualified to get the man that you want. You're not even qualified to become that. So how are you going to want somebody that you're not even qualified? If going by your standards, you're not qualified for what you want.
Facts. Ms. Plum said, I agree with what Keish said. I don't know who Keish is. I think that lady name's Nelly. Oh, that's name. I'm sorry. I agree with what Keish said. It still means how it was defined in the clip. However, the women are using it, as Keish said, using it to say men aren't emotionally intelligent because men aren't in agreement. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. This part, Cyndi Lauper effect. Girl just want it. They do. You know what I'm saying? I think men are going through a rude awakening and realizing that, you know what? We got this thing twisted up. Maybe they're not what we thought they were, and we're definitely not who they thought we were. And
I think that's the best
for men. Like they think. No, go ahead, Keish.
I think what men are. If men step back and look at it objectively, and I'm going to do a video on this, right? We didn't know what women were because before, women were not in social spaces like this. They weren't at work. They weren't at like they weren't doing construct. They weren't doing none of the public stuff, the public arenas that men were in. They were just regulated to the house stuff. So we didn't know the dark side of female nature or whatever it is called, right? Now that we're seeing it, I think men have to evolve to say, okay, shit, this is what women are like when they're in their dark side mode or whatever, right? And I think men have to evolve and adjust to it instead of saying, okay, let's go backward. Let's move forward. Yo, this is how women are, and date according to that, in my opinion.
No, definitely. And I think not just the dark side, I think they're showing you what they would do with power.
Yes.
They're showing you what, if I had the ball in my hands, if it was my way, how things would be. And that's pretty dark. When you would think it would be the opposite, you would think, I think when, as a young man, when you think of women, first thing you think of is your mother.
Yeah.
Think of your mother's love, and it's like you feel like hurting a woman is hurting your mother. That's why a lot of black women, it's almost like they got us under spell, because one of the first things black women to say, well, your mama black, they'll bring up what your mother is, because they know that we try to subconsciously sometimes love our mother through these women. And you can't always Creator, what's going on? You can't always do that. But I'm gonna take it back because Creator, I definitely want to hear your views. I'm gonna just take it back. We have a little medley. I'm gonna take it from the top and let you brothers chop it up on this.
I have another layer before you play that. I think
What's good?
Black women say your mama's black, because if it's a black woman that's like tyrannical or disrespectful, a lot of black men grew up with that type of mother. So it's like, if I don't date this black woman that was disrespectful like how my mother was, or I'm supposed to date her because of that, like, because she's doing something my mother did. But however crazy my mother was, she's like that. So if I'm not dating her, your mama black, so you should be dating.
I think, and I don't want to just do the low-hanging fruit of just the wild, unruly mother, because it's not always that. It's like my mother wasn't unruly. My mother was very soft-spoken, and but the thing I noticed with a lot of women, it's not just the overt ratchet stuff. It's the running away from men that hold you accountable for things.
Yeah.
It's not that seems to be the common thread. Like I see women, they give guys who they don't get, the men who are put together. I'm not gonna say you got your money right and all that. I'm just saying men who don't need them. I feel like I'm repeating the video, but men who don't necessarily need them but may want them, but is willing to teach them things or add things to their life that can make them more in demand from that man. They run from those men.
Well, Ella, can I just say this before you play the video? Part of it is the fact that those men who don't need them and who want them, they don't trust them. And the reason why they don't trust them has a lot to do with the fact that whether they didn't have the connection or they didn't have father figured or references to judge by, one. But more importantly, we did this. There's nothing a woman is doing right now that we didn't go through as a black man, especially. We actually did what they're doing when we wanted to be integrated, when we wanted to be part of. We were competing with the other man. We did that. And what we learned is that it failed us. And now those men are speaking to that who they don't trust. We're saying, no, we don't care about you getting where you got in the accolade. We already got it. We don't care about what that is. What we're trying to tell you is the results of when that power is abused. We have abused our power in many ways and destroyed our family structure in ways. And we now are taking accountability, recognizing that and saying, yo, you're doing exactly what we already did.
Well, Sean, let me ask you this though. Look, when you say, first of all, you say we. When I think of the destruction of the family structure, what does that look like? Like, is it the drug dealer? Is it just the guy who just goes out? Is it the cheater? Is it the one who just leaves because he arguing with the woman? Like what guy is it? Because we say that, but this is my issue with that.
Yeah, well,
the man that I seen the woman choose in my lifetime was the dysfunctional black male.
And
that's the one. And that's not the majority. But it seems like men are judged by the majority of what a minority is doing.
That would be now. I ask you this, and you're right.
It's been like this for like 40 years, about 50, 60 years. It's been this way.
I'll take that back. It's not. What it is that, for example, we chase the bag. In the same way that they're bragging and doing, and we want the bag, that's what we did. We chase that bag. And sometimes we abuse that power that comes along with that bag. Anybody who had a significant amount residual amounts understands that comes with the possibility of more options, more opportunities, more things that will draw you to things that might not be beneficial to your foundation.
But Sean, you're still talking to a minority of men. Most men didn't have that disposable income like that. Most men were 9 to 5 men who didn't have that type of disposable income. So when those are the men that's being affected by the generalizations of the experiences with this minority of men.
Well,
That's where I can't.
And
that's
this
where you
is-
lose me at. Or
and this
most
is-
men ain't had that money like that.
Most men didn't have jobs like that. Let's be realistic. Men just started being able to get jobs in the 1920s. That's when they started to be able to get jobs.
But that was a long time ago. We've been working for a while, Sean. I'm talking about the last 50, 60 years.
And what I'm sharing with you, that's we're talking 56 years. That's in the 1980s and 70s. We got to go to the root of it. We can't just go to.
I mean, we could go. I'm saying, but we talking about how it culminated. It turned into what it is now. And black men always was working.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it very clearly. I've been trying to kind of avoid saying it directly. We wanted integration. That's what I'm referring to. We wanted to be part of their scenario. And that's where right now women want to be integrated and want to be part of our scenario. We already did that. We chased somebody else's path and that led us into destructive behaviors. Our families.
You talking about integrating with integration with the civil rights movement?
Absolutely. And I say I don't want separation. I want to make it very clear. I'm not speaking about separation. I am speaking about segregation. Now, the difference between the two, right now, most of the thriving communities are segregated. We have Little Italy. We have the Jewish community. We have Chinatown. We have a lot of segregated communities.
But Sean, you got to remember there were a lot of black men that were very split with that integration thing. Not everybody agreed to that.
I agree. But what wound up becoming the most popular? Not everybody agree with the attitudes that are going on and the behaviors that are going on now.
I think it's deeper than integration because everybody's integrated technically in this country. I think the problem is we integrated the system. We integrated we had a spiritual and intellectual integration. It wasn't everybody else is integrating. They just know how to keep it economics. They integrate economically. We integrate our spirit with our job, with our career, with our fraternity, with our football team. I think that was the main issue because other races are showing you that, hey, I can go to the same store as other races of people and still have something for my own. So I think
that's why I identified. That's why I
overblown.
differentiated separation versus segregation. Because they're not separating themselves. That's what you're saying, and I agree. We don't need to separate ourselves.
So first off, that good looking philosophical, and it's crazy. But I seen the other day, I didn't know this was you. I seen you had broke it down on some little female. It was a podcast a long time ago. I said, man, that look like philosophical, man.
Yeah, that's that. You talking about I was on the street outside?
Yeah. So
yeah, that's how this all got started. I wasn't doing this before then, bro.
Okay. But so let's talk about the baddie, right? Let's talk about what a baddie even is at this point. Like we have to we decide and we make everybody who they are, right? We are the men. We decide what we want, right? Meaning, if we said that archetype of what a baddie is no longer the archetype that we desire, meaning in order to be a baddie, it means you gotta have some type of plastic surgery. It's going to be focused on your sexuality, right? It's going to be focused on some type of attitude. It's a me-fi, independent, me-fi, me type of attitude, right? And if men entertain that type of attitude, it's almost the same as the BBL. For a minute, it was, I almost thought that was like that our men was really great G for that. But we found this slowly but surely with time, we didn't want a G for that, right? We didn't really like it. So if the baddie, not a bad chick, right? Not a super bad motherfucker. We talking about a baddie. This is what the baddie is. What we just saw in that video, right? She wouldn't even let this multi-millionaire, successful individual.
Hold that thought, because I want your full thought, but I want you to see the video, and then I want you to go in from what
I did, but go ahead, hit it for we gonna 5-point harmony.
Because there's other videos I want you to see too, because that was just the last one. But we're gonna take it from the top, and I want you to go in on these 2 videos before we go to the third one.
Emotions when they're convenient for the woman that's asking me to be emotionally intelligent. That any emotional labor I do that's not for her convenience, or not that something she specifically asked for, that either goes unnoticed, or when I'm saying something that's not favorable, the shit gets used against me, and it becomes about how she feels about what I said, and not about the shit that I said.
Ladies, he making something too much sense. Somebody cry. Somebody cry. Somebody cry.
So what? All I'm saying, because saying that, all right, now we got our own money, we want y'all to be emotionally intelligent. That's a great argument. Until it becomes a real life situation and you start to deal with an emotionally intelligent and you realize it ain't been enough of them in your life and you don't know what to do with that type of man.
You're not lying. You're not lying. This is fact.
Sweetheart,
this is
my baby, if all you done had is dudes that don't know how to express themselves, don't come sitting in front of me, a nigga that know how to express himself, complaining when I goddamn express myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Women have no emotional intelligence. The reason that as women we want to believe we have emotional intelligence is because we are emotional. The fact that we are highly emotional is actually the biggest indicator that we have very low emotional intelligence, because being emotional is having no control over our emotional state. High emotional intelligence is the ability to be pragmatic, to see things realistically, and to make choices and respond to life not from an emotional place. It's the ability to be in control of our emotional state and operate in life from that place.
So before I go to the next one, Creator, earlier I was talking about how I think in these conversations what we're realizing about each other is what we thought we were, we're not that. In other words, we thought women were just these damsels in distress who really appreciate emotional responsiveness and things like that, emotional intelligence, yada, yada, yada. And they thought, and we see that that's not the case. And I feel like they thought that we are just these sex crazed guys that if we just get enough sex, it'll just shut us up. That's why a lot of times you'll see women, like they're over sexualized now. And it's like, when you ask like what do I bring to the table, they say, well, look at me. It's like we've both been bought into the hype about what we think we are. But now we're realizing what we actually are. How do you feel about that sentiment?
So everybody's speaking this emotional intelligence, right? And everybody can be intelligent, but everybody ain't knowledgeable, right? Knowledge is your ability to use what it is that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so certainly you can be, emotionally intelligent. You know you going through these emotions, but you're not emotionally mature. You don't know how to use those emotions, right? You don't know how to manage certain emotions. So when they come up, it's like, what I always say all the time, a lot of women's emotional defense is fear and anger, because those are the two easiest fruits to reach, right? I'm either gonna be fearful of it or I'm gonna be angry at it. Those are the two emotions. And we as men have to be emotionally mature, because every day we walk out that door, we understand that our life is in danger, whether we know it or not, right? We literally walk the streets knowing that at any moment, if we say something wrong, if we look at somebody a certain way, what? That can end detrimental just by how we talk, right? By how we move, our facial expressions. So we are highly emotionally mature individuals.
Mm-hmm.
We move with it. If we're ready to deliberate and we trying to make peace, right? We're trying to do a treaty for peace. I think our emotional maturity will come to play. You know what I'm saying? In those type of moments, because we don't want nobody to go overboard. We don't want things to go off rails. So when we deal with women, there's a whole lot of liberty involved. When we deal with women, we give so much grace, and there's been so much grace given in a society and a construct that has embraced the fact that you cannot put your hands on a woman, or you cannot disrespect a woman, or you cannot, and it's just not the case, right? So
I'm
if you
glad
put
you said
yourself,
that, Creator,
hold on,
because
real
you.
quick, I'm gonna land right
Go
here,
ahead.
Will. If you put yourself in a position, you cannot continue to put yourself in a position to assault human beings and then try to decide on how they defend themselves. Go ahead, brother.
Absolutely. No, I love what you were saying. And you brought up something that I tapped on earlier. You brought up societal responsibility. And Creator, man, I need you on the camera, man. You got me. We looking at insulation and shit. Where you at, man?
I'm in Florida, and I
my
got this phone up to my ear. I want to hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Nah, but what you were speaking about, I was speaking about earlier, how we have to be emotionally intelligent. Like the black man in America is the only person historically, even to today, for the most part, who's not allowed to not be emotionally intelligent. You have to be. And I was saying how in every other community, especially the main community, which is black and white community, as far as our history in this country, as far as the main influences on our psyche, I would say black people and white people in America, quote unquote black and white people. The black woman and the white woman and the white man are allowed to have moments where emotional intelligence is or lack thereof is allowed to not be there. We don't have that luxury. You know what I'm saying? You got the Karen, you got that unruly black woman. You got who the fuck are you talking to, white guy? It's like they're all given these allowances to not have that, but us. But it seems like we're attacked or being accused or being held to standards of emotional intelligence more than anybody when we have it more than anybody. If anybody is the person who can say who has it or not, it's us, because we're not allowed to act the fool. I remember I was at a job where we was working at we had to put but inside the home, we had to come through under the floor or through the attic. So a girl had joined the training. It was like it's a dirty job. She was like rushing through the training, like I could do this, like whatever. So they let her join it. They let her do it. Her second week, she said, I can't do this. They changed the rules and said, well, she don't have to do it like that. She run into a house where she got to go through the floor, the attic. She don't have to do it. So it's like society allows them to not really be held accountable. And it's like the only time they're faced with the reality of their lack of emotional intelligence is when they meet us.
But that's only women that act like that, want to force themselves in our spaces and challenge us like as if there's even competition. And because we know, again, there's that grace again. I know there's no competition, but I'm going to let you anyway, and I ain't going to let you hit your face, right? I'm going to let you in, and I'm going to protect you, right, while you in here, just for the sake of. That's how life is. And then they take that protection as if it's really your power, right? You take our protection, and then you use it as if it's really your power, and it's not. And so now men are starting to say, hey, you know what? Let me take my power back. I'm going to tell you no. And I don't care how you feel. I always say the same, keep walking. If they really for you, they're either going to follow you, right? Or they're going to go the other way, right?
Absolutely.
Keep walking. Don't turn around. Don't try to justify. Don't debate. Don't do none of that. Close your mouth. Right? That emotional intelligence we was talking about, right? Just stop everything. Pause. When you're sick, that's the first thing you do. Just stop eating. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to stop eating everything and hit the reset button. And when you do that, those that either, right, your value really starts to equate. And if you're competing with me, it's always me, and I can go get my own thing, and I can do this and that. But if you're not, it's going to be cooperation. Hey, what can I do to do better? What can we do to work this out? It starts to we, our, us. But when it's me, my, I, you better run.
Ooh, Creator, you touched on a lot of things. And Keish, I see that you want to get into, but the one I like to boil things down, and what you're saying is a selfish nature, and that was what I was kind of leaning towards earlier. With power, you sometimes become self-indulgent. And you sometimes react to where it only matters to yourself. And this is what these women are doing right now. They're basically selfish and spoiled. and we have spoiled them. Society has spoiled them. A lot of things have spoiled them. So I understand that, but the point is, we're making it very complicated. And I say it to women that I have conversations with all the time: you're just spoiled. And
now I respect, and we set that standard, bro. So what would they even know what spoiled is if we didn't show them the different levels of life that you can have? Only a man can show you that. You being a woman, the only thing you can do is offer what you offer to get in the space of men that are on that level. And you think that monkey, if that's your true value, right? A man gonna show you out the barrelhead how much it really don't matter to him. I don't care about what you had to offer. So your competition means nothing to me. Meaning you can have all the money in the world, and I can have $0, and I'm still 10 times more valuable than you ever will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and from like clips like I'm about to play just makes me. I feel like men are trying to hear women a lot of times these conversations. I know I try to. I try to get to the bottom of what they're trying to say, but it seems like a lot of their problems are rooted in a lack of accountability. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lack of accountability, I think, as well with men too, because we be ignoring red flags. It's another clip I wanted to add too. I wish I would have uploaded it. This woman who
Keith looked like he ready to say something.
No, hold on, but I'm gonna let you go. But I should have brought this clip. A woman, she just divorced her husband not because he did nothing wrong. She just was like,
yeah, I seen that one too.
I just saw that.
Go ahead, Keith. I'm about to play the clip after this. Go ahead.
I think what's gonna have to happen is that black men have to allow black women to let them know, to allow them to deal with the consequences. And the black women who hold themselves accountable and change, they change. The ones who don't. I think black men at this point, we have to take care of ourselves really and truly. Because I'm 33 years old. For the past 3 decades of my life, 3 decades of my life, I've always heard we got to be responsible for the community. We got to be responsible for the women. We got to take care of this and that. And regardless of the best efforts I've seen black men who are better than me do, it doesn't work. As the brother said earlier, we spoiled them. So I think, and then on top of that, we try to fix black women who chose to do wrong. So I think at this point, black men got to focus on taking care of themselves and let black women fall on their own sword and figure that out.
I'm trying to think that not all of them, but a lot of them, they care when you don't care. It's like that emotional intelligence that you have that you're using is not what's going to get you anywhere. I think you have to. I just think when you show emotional intelligence, it just don't really get you anywhere. Because when I hear these women talk like this, there's no. It's just such a disdain for male, not just authority.
That is the perfect word. Yeah. The disdain. Because my man's in your latest video, he couldn't even talk. So she's feeling like that she's got money, right? That she can disrespect him and their money is on the same level. So I can out-talk you, I can over-talk, right? You on his platform. Disrespecting this man. So a baddie to me, like you got to, so when you say you a baddie, the first thing I'm gonna look at is your hair. That's the first thing I'm going for. Because I need for your everything on you to be you. To me, a true baddie ain't just your bread and what you look like. You need to look like you, right? That's the confidence that you should exude in you being a baddie. A part of being a baddie, you naturally bad. To me, those are money when I think of students who have augmented themselves. They see these students who have augmented themselves to look like maybe a B+, but even all of that ain't real. And so now you have to play in to that almost that trans type of idea that this ain't a man or this ain't a, you know what I'm saying? We have to play into this ain't a costume you got on.
Yeah, it's really just a overt, over the top sexual expression, and it's just a false. You could just tell by how they present themselves how much they value, what they think of us. They just think we just walking penises. They don't give a fuck what we talking about. They like, bro, whatever. I'm gonna put this whatever in your face, and you gonna shut the fuck up. Like they don't even think that you is more to you than that. Just like we don't think we can't fathom that there's more to them just the sensitivity and softness. But I got a few super chats. Shout out to everybody that support the channel, man. Shout out to 18th Letter. Appreciate you, bro. Gave it a $9.99 super sticker. Appreciate that. At WDAV for you. He said, "Let's South Korea salute as black men pull back emotionally and financially. Black women are fearful for the absence of attention from men." I don't think that anymore. I really think that
that's what I said earlier.
Left the building to a degree, and I think we're really talking to ourselves at this point. Like I really don't think they give a fuck. And we're gonna watch this. Not all of y'all ladies, but you know who you are.
Serious.
Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than anybody in America on a 9 to 5, on a, you got a good job. My bitches is paid. So at the end of the day, you said, why should anyone take?
I'm gonna pause it real quick. We're gonna jump back in there. That little part right there, I don't know if y'all peeped that, but that 9 to 5 good job, it's little statements like that we would dismiss that are very loaded statements, and there's a lot of ramification to those statements. She said a mouthful with that. She spoke for a whole generation, a whole view of people. That's how they view the everyday man.
Mm-hmm. No, that's how they. That's how they.
9 to 5 or whatever. They don't give a fuck about that shit. That's what I'm saying. They're not talking about us. The everyday man is suffering from the narrative, but he's not creating it for the most part. They're only dealing with these elite kind of guys, or at least advocate for that. But they do have no respect for the everyday blue collar man. And when a young man sees that, what is he going to want to be? Is he going? That's why we be saying, "Oh, the young brothers, they don't want to learn. They don't want to do 9 to 5 stuff because look how respectful."
Nah, they don't want them bros though, bro.
No, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying that sentiment that she spoke of is not new. That's not new. It was at the tip of her tongue because it's been in our community, and that is. Our young men are not valued for having an honest living. You have to be. I think the black man is the only man on the planet that, as a child, he's compared to thousandaires who sell drugs. You know, the average drug dealer back in the day probably make at least 6 figures a year. He's compared to him at the ages of 12, 11, 12, child. He gotta have. He's compared to as a child, and then when he becomes a man, he's compared to millionaires. You're never allowed to just develop. So what I'm saying is, when she said that speaks to why young men end up taking, a lot of them take the path they take, or why that image is pedestalized, because the everyday person, the everyday brother, the hard worker was never ever respected in my lifetime. But
because he has to get his revenue from another ethnic group, right? So if they gonna look at that young man, even though he's at the top, financially, he's going to another ethnic group to acquire his resources, right? And when was the last time we've conquered? You get what I'm saying? So they looking at it like, well, if you got a job, well, we got a job better than yours. You see what I'm saying? So that devalues. What they trying to do is add to this dick. That's what it all come down to. You'll never have this dick. And so anything that you do is you're going to try to equate to this dick, bro. That's just what it is. So it don't matter. All the money in the world won't get you this. All the weave in the world won't get you this. All the BBLs won't do it. Your makeup won't do it. You can go to the ends of the earth and it still won't do it. So now again, these are C's and D's we talking about that have painted themselves to be B pluses. Now I applaud her business acumen and I applaud her putting her girls on. But what I don't applaud is I see zero resources that you building. right? If you really that baddie, y'all really that smart, then where y'all schools at? Where your institutions? How you putting your broads on with you and me? Well, you know we in finance and real estate. Are they making mortgages on these houses, or are they paid off? Are they getting them built? Do they have IRAs? Are they really set up in life, or are they just out here whoring for $1? What are we really doing? What are you really teaching these young ladies? By her attitude, it's all about that dollar, bro. And that dollar, right? Any of us, realistically, I don't know no man that if he really wants it, that he can't go get it with zero problem. So this acumen that you can go make money and you strive to pay bills and you strive to be so masculine, you can strive to do whatever you want to do. You still won't have this dick.
You shout out. But we got Obsidian in the building. Shout out to Obsidian. Before you come in, Obsidian, I just want to respond to you. I think it's not just about that respectfully creative, because they can replace that too. I think what they think they have is testosterone, or I think what they think they have is the natural power of a man innately. I think they can replace body. I think all of that is beyond that. They got toys and all that. We're more than just our sexual members. I think the spirit of a man is what they're trying to replicate while breaking the actual man at the same time. So I know he's saying skinny, but I think it's more than just that. I think it's the power that a man possesses, the natural authority that they're trying to redefine and undermine. But Obsidian, I don't know if you've been watching the show, but I've been just going through like a medley of clips I collected that just speaks to, I feel like we at a place where I think what we thought women were, they're not, and what women thought we were, we're not. And we're both trying to adjust to what we are finding out. And I think what we found out is they're not just these benevolent damsels that are just filled with love and just wants to roll around in the lilacs all day. And we're not just these sexual deviants like they think we would. And I think it's expressed in how they show up for us. We hear a lot of women's podcasts, a man say, so what you bring with this? It's like they can't fathom that you want more. It's a reflection of how they view themselves and how they think we view them, which is, you only want sex from me. So if I'm showing you all this body and all this, what the fuck else is there to want? It's like they can't even fathom it. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell when they talk about, I bring this to the table. It's like, because you think that's all I want. So
is that all I want?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And they think, and we think that they just want emotional intelligence, and they can really care less about that shit. But so how do you feel about that, Obsidian? Floor is yours, bro.
You're muted.
You're muted.
All right, here we go. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. First of all,
mic check 1 2 1 2. What it do, bro?
Then first of all, peace to my brother Philosophical. I want to thank everybody for having a really great conversation. That I was taking care of some business elsewhere, and I promised my brother I'd drop in at 8:30. So here I am as reporting for duty. And before we even get started with this conversation, I got to do this. I said I'm going to save this until next time I go on the air. Philosophical's been really good to me, man. He's proven himself a friend. I won't go into the backstory, but there's some situations that happened over the past year that have made it a bit challenging for me to continue to spread the good news of what me and the brothers at the Black Manosphere Conclave are doing for Black men, which has to do with tonight's discussion, I might add. And I just want to thank the brother Philosophical with gifting him a copy of the Gospel of St. Kevin. It's a book with Kevin's blessing shortly before he died. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to sign it live on the air for him.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. By the way, if any other brothers want to get a copy, man, all you got to do is hit me up on my Cash App. It's a special Conclave edition. It's not sold in stores. You cannot buy it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatnot. It was designed specifically for the brothers of the Black Manosphere Conclave. And I have some copies over. So if any brother wants to get them, you can grab a copy The $100 sign, 75 unsigned. And I'm going to copy right here from my brother Illa right now. I'm going to be heading to the post office first thing tomorrow morning. So if anybody wants to grab on a copy so I can mail it out to them, all you got to do is just hit me up. So here we go. And then we'll jump headlong into the topic.
Super pause on
That's
that
player,
one. But I
man. That's
appreciate
real
that,
player,
brother.
man.
I appreciate that. Mumia, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, that's a good thing. You know, we all need to get some merchandise. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with, you know, selling your advertising your products. Sean has a product as well. Sean, he has a water brand with a CBD called H2O. If you're on the West Coast, I believe they're in a lot of fast foods, like convenience stores,
7-Elevens, convenience stores.
7-Elevens. Support the brothers. This is organic content, organic materials, organic products, straight from the creativity and entrepreneur spirit. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Hold on, let me put that on the big screen. Appreciate it. Let me see that again one more time. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Live on the air, man. That's what I'm talking about. Commemorative edition type of ish. You know what I'm saying?
That's playerism, man. I ain't getting one until mine come like that, cuz.
Show the cover as well. Show the cover again.
Oh, yeah. This is a gospel of St. King Samuel. Something that we wrote, we talked about shortly before he passed in 2022. We talked about this book. He gave it his full blessing. It's the only book of its kind that had sanctioned by the Kevin Bell estate. And as you can see, it kind of resembles a holy book. We have officially canonized our brother. And he may be gone, but he'll never be forgotten.
Does somebody got some karaoke music or something going on?
Huh?
I hear some like karaoke music in the background or something. Somebody playing a Casio over there or something.
I hear it.
Oh man, yeah, but
it's muted now.
Okay.
And I just want to add this, and I want I want y'all to address it.
Okay.
For me, it was down to what we value, what they value. And unfortunately, that value system is where they're lacking. They value only the bad, the people that we were just discussing. And that's part of why and what we're going through. And while we're identifying other things that lend to the behavior, the root of it is they value money over character. And we kind of sometimes endorse it. Society, not us brothers here, but society endorses it. And some brothers and some other sisters. So
that's a certain percentage, and let you go on. But that's just us satisfying one of our vices, right? And that's just the same as if we was a cigarette, right? Smoking a cigarette, and the cigarette decided to get a job, and the cigarette became a billionaire and said that, you know what, I don't need your lungs no more. We can do it ourselves. We'll figure out a way. We don't need you humans no more. To me, that's what I equivalent that to. And when men, what we do is we're going to constantly evolve because we have to. All women can do is follow the evolution. So that's why I say just walk. All we got to do is walk, and all they can do is follow.
Facts. Let me jump in there real quick.
Go ahead.
Responding to what you said, Sean, I don't think that they just wanted the bag so much. I think they wanted attention. And I think in today's world, an unholy marriage of attention and economics have joined, because attention would get you noticed, but it never was such an economic advantage as it is now. What am I saying? A woman's love for attention has become monetized now, where she can live in her vanity and get paid for it. The average person. So I think once that happened, you've put women who are simply at the level that they're at, strictly from shock jock moments and shocking viral over sexual statements, and that's been able to become monetized with social media. Now they can rub shoulders and sit next to someone who went to school for biochemistry or who has a degree. You know, they can make more, the same amount or more than these men and women. So now they're equating what they do with actual value. That's why you get somebody that's talking to Cam Newton, a man who, you know, regardless of how we may feel about sports, it does take discipline to get to certain levels of even if it's rigged, to get there. Take a real regiment with your body and your sacrifice of your time. So when you got women who can sit across from men who sacrifice their years and parties and outings to really make their body a physical machine, to I'm rich because I got a fat ass. And now I'm talking to you like that. The fact that that dynamic exists is dangerous. I want to play this clip, and when we finish, Mumia, I want you to jump right in there. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm gonna take it from the top. Cam Newton asked this woman, "What does a baddie bring to the table?"
Can I say something on the bag right quick?
Real quick, Landon, real quick.
Also, when we say get to the bag, I thought the whole point about black men was to be a provider, be in that provider role. So if black men are getting into the bag to be in the provider position, so that black women can be in their, I guess, their women position, I thought that was the goal of getting the bag, not as like a throw it in your face or a status symbol.
I mean, the one, but I don't think when it comes to a woman getting the bag, that adds to her. I don't think her chasing her femininity is associated with necessarily getting the bag, because a woman don't necessarily have to pursue money to be in her feminine. She can really just show up. And
no, but I'm saying,
go ahead.
I was saying, in the context of being traditional people, nuclear family, it was supposed to be the man get to the bag so he could provide for his family, and the woman just in her position, like not as a provider, but in her feminine qualities. That was the whole point of it. So men chasing the bag, in my opinion, I thought that was the point of us chasing the bag, to be in the traditional.
Let me share with you why I said I'm not saying I'm not saying that why I said it's what you value, because I'm not saying chasing the bag is invaluable, but when you prioritize it over the family, the man wanted to get the bag to provide for his family. So his family was the priority, not the bag. The taking care of the family is what made him pursue the bag. Now it's the other way around. They value in the bag to get the attention, to get the power, to get the different things, but it's not specifically that, because the bag is important. So don't get it twisted. Like I'm saying, disregard the bag, but put order and prioritize what's important. Is character first important or the bag? When you're talking about a man who's trying to provide for his family, that's his character that's doing that. And that's why
the
it's
bag
important.
is part of it. Hey, I'm going out here risking my life, right, to sustain our family, to provide resources. What happened is most people don't, that formula, especially when you grow with somebody and you build that formula of building resources and growing together, again, it turns into competition and not cooperation. Because now it's like greed, it's like the Lord of the Rings, right? The theory where everybody was supposed to take this ring and get rid of it, but as soon as somebody got the power, that greed and that energy took over them. That's what usually happens in those situations.
Word. Let's get to the video, though. Let's get to it.
Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than.
I'm sorry, my fault.
I can't see me.
I'm tripping. No. Hold up. Let me take it back. I'm tripping. So
serious.
Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than anybody in America on a 9-to-5, you got a good job. My bitches is paid. Okay. So at the end of the day, you said, why should anyone take a baddie serious? Because we pay the fucking bills.
Why should a man?
Because we pay the bills.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What if you're dealing with a man?
It doesn't matter. Well, first of all, I deal with Jacob, and but my baddies, I got a couple baddies that
I'm not speaking in.
No, wait.
Your
So my baddie Anna is dating an MLB player. They get money. He makes more money than her for sure. she don't give a fuck. They don't care. Baddies don't care.
But what I'm referring
But,
to is
yeah.
it's not necessarily about money all the time. And I think
No, you said that.
no,
You said, what is it that makes a male?
no, I will say it again.
Okay, say it again.
Why should a man take a baddie
I
serious?
just told you.
Yeah,
When they
and
make
you-
more money and they're the boss.
That's cool.
She's the boss. And
But-
so he makes, so what I
Wow.
what I was trying to refer to is he makes more money, right?
Right.
But she's the boss.
Okay, take money out of it.
No, it was money out of it. He definitely makes more money than her. She's still running that shit.
Okay, but
Okay.
take financials out of it.
Okay, so what?
What are the qualities that a baddie may bring to the table?
She's definitely more popular than him. I don't even know
Oh
who
my
the fuck he
God.
is. So if he wants, respectfully, I don't watch Major League Baseball, but if he wants to be like with a young, successful baddie that is an it girl, that's what she's bringing to the table because she's definitely her follower, everything. She's more popping. So I don't know. Sometimes, like, I'm a little bit older. I don't really care about social media and followers and all that.
Yes, you do.
But the younger people do.
A baddie.
You know that. So maybe she brings more like to the table, like for social media and like popularity or
But
whatever.
you're not answering my question.
No, you just asked. What?
No, I'm gonna guide you.
I don't know. Don't guide me. Oh my God.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Fine.
get to an
All
answer.
right. I don't know. Baddies bring a lot to the table.
Can you name something?
Great
with-
mothers.
Okay, talk about it.
I put $1 million swimming pool in my backyard because my
Oh,
daughter
my
says she
God.
wants to swim. So I put a pool. It cost me
corny.
$909. It was like $1 million. I put him. Wait.
Who's good men?
All right, I heard enough. Obsidian, you have the floor.
Well, the first thing I would say is, so I'm just giving. I have no idea who that woman was. I know who Cam Newton is.
Of course you do.
I have no ill will toward him. But to be brutally frank, unless somebody like we're talking about right now, unless someone brings an episode of his podcast to my attention, I don't watch it.
I don't either. I don't like. I just seen that clip and I was like, wow.
That's number one. Number two, I have no idea who the woman that was speaking is. If she was to walk past me on the street,
She has
I
a
would
show
be
called
nothing
Bad
about it.
Girls Club, I believe, where women just get to act the fool and get paid for it.
Okay, so I have no idea who she is. So with those two things out of the way, I want to ask the brothers on the panel a question. Because I have no interest in women like that.
Facts.
They're not a part of my life. They're not a part of my ecosystem. I mean, you know, I work with my brothers Shannon and Theo, the Black Manosphere Conclave. That's just not a part of our world. So my question to the brothers on the panel is this: do any of you brothers have any interest with women like that?
No.
No, I don't think it's about her, that type specifically.
That's a good question, though, Il. Hold on.
No,
Let-
no,
let-
okay.
let-
It's a good question, but I think when I play clips like this, it's not necessarily because we want those women. The talking points in the spirit is in a lot of women. They're
All
just
right, so let's
women
talk
like
about
us, low hanging fruit. You could just point to it and say, aha. But it's in other women as well who don't talk like that, who don't carry themselves like that.
You
But it's
different,
still-
Il.
And it's still a certain underlying dismissal of men's perspective. She's just abrasive with it, but a lot of women have that same spirit in undertones from what I see.
All right, so let's talk about it. So, again, the brothers that I work with, see, the way that we set things up, it's going to be very difficult for the type of sisters y'all talking about to even be where we are. It's very difficult. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Last year, we were at the Four Seasons in Houston. Now, I don't know if anybody here is from Houston, Texas, but Houston, Texas is one of the largest Black population cities. When I say I'm talking about big cities. One of the largest population big cities in the United States of Black people. Okay? And I spent a week downtown at the Houston Four Seasons, and I could count the number of black women I saw there on one hand in a week. Yeah. Back in September, we had the conclave in Miami. We were at the Miami Hyatt Regency. It's got a convention center built in it. It's huge. Again, and Miami's got black people there. Again, you can count the number of black women there, on one hand. And the black women that were there with us, we brought in for the 5M conference. My point is this. What I would say to brothers, no doubt, women like the one we saw on the screen exist. No question. I don't deny it. But my question becomes this. Are you concerned because those are the type of women you want? Or are you concerned, as my brother Illa just pointed out, because women with that mindset are pretty much the only women that you have to choose from? If the answer is the latter, then it's time to change your scenery. That's really what it comes down to. I
think that mindset, I don't think that mindset is something that you could just see from a mile away. I think you can see it on her. But I think a lot of women are chameleons. I think they can come amongst you and hobnob and have the pinky up. I don't think it's something that's always visible right away. I think sometimes it is, and sometimes it unfolds. And it may not be as abrasive or as ignorant, but it's a dismissive nature of a man's perspective on things.
Well, let's look at that. Let's talk about that. So, are you brothers aware of the fact that we're talking about black women now? Are you brothers aware of the fact that black women in the United States only make up 4% of all the black women in the world? Did you know that?
Say that again.
Now,
are you aware that black American women, we're going to keep it to them, black women, that black American women only make up 4% of the total of black women in the world? Are you aware?
That make me a super player.
I mean, I didn't know the stat, but I am very aware of what you're speaking to. As a matter of fact, yeah, as a matter of fact, to answer part of your question, I was asked a question earlier today, Sean, not today, but this week by a couple of women. Why aren't you married? Now, specifically, I'm interested in marrying somebody from the United States in my age range. Unfortunately, to the point that Illa is saying, to what we're looking at, the mentality of these women are hardened. And I am familiar with the world and have traveled the world, and there are options outside the world. But again, my preference is to be with somebody who has grown in the same environment, atmosphere, conditions that I have. So,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I want you to finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the only point I'm making is that yes, I'm aware of other options and other environments. And that was my answer to the people, to the two ladies who asked me that during the week. I was like, yo, I'm trying not to exile my sisters here in the United States. Unfortunately, the more I try, the more I'm seeing it's almost like a cancer spreading throughout our community. And that's what concerns me. And that's why, to your point, why I do speak with these sisters, as ignorant as they may sound or be, as spoiled as they may sound or be, as intelligent as they may sound or be. So,
can I jump in there after you?
Yeah, that's my answer to it.
I want to answer his question, man, from earlier, man. I mess with those type of women. Yep, I do. Tatted, head to toe, got attitudes, thinking all that. That one, Natalie Nunn, that's what I call that. So it's easy to go get wounded deer or go get the deer that you think is, acting, the behavior is okay. Everybody's behavior when they're trying to get something is going to be on point. But now, say y'all married and you got this perfect woman when she was perfect, and down the line, now she didn't like KYs when y'all got together. But somewhere you took her, she now likes KYs. right? And now she's starting to change and be a certain person. You as a man, if you take on a woman, and fellas, remember this, you do not have to be in a relationship, period. It is not law that you be in a relationship. But if you do, it is a bill. It is a responsibility. It is accountability. It is all those things that you really act like you want, but in a lot of cases, a lot of us are not prepared for. So now, if you are in a committed relationship, right, with a broad, which is like, it's like the lights. Don't cut them on if you don't want to pay for them. It's like your car. Don't get it if you ain't got the bread to cash out on it. Same with your house and a lot of other things. But when they start changing on you, and now you got to maintenance the changes, these behaviors that you are not really prepared for. That's why they get to talking that emotional intelligence shit. And I'm telling you, that's hogwash, because a man going to adapt to whatever situation that he in, if the situation is cooperating. When it ain't, I'm telling you to walk. Just keep walking. Don't keep trying to plea bargain with motherfuckers, bruh. Where are we doing that at? And the plea bargaining then got these women that C's and D's, right, thinking that they A+s. And so now the behavior is running infectious throughout the community to make it look like the regular guy ain't that guy. Now he got to be Mr. Superman in all, what you just say, 4% of the world's women. He has to show her that he's Superman. It don't work like that, bro. Just start doing what you do. Just be a man. It ain't no big science. Keep walking. Be you and do you. And those that want to follow what it is that you do, they're gonna keep following.
What do you say to that? Because I know you were saying basically you're trying to say, not trying, but you're saying that you find what you're looking for. But my pushback to you on that is a lot of men are dealing with, like, I'm 40 and I know in my 30s, there was no way to say, okay, these women are here, these women are there.
That's all I'm saying.
Blend it up. You really don't know until you know. And it's not always, I got you, bro. It's not always as cut and dry. Like I said, it sometimes it unravels. And it may
we didn't have us when we was coming up. That's what it is.
Hold on. It's not just something as abrasive. Like, it just could be a deal breaker where just like, she didn't disrespect me. She just has some type. She just held on to some feminist or modern woman deal breaker that she just wasn't able to acquiesce for our relationship to continue. So it's not always as off-putting as what we just saw, but it's there, and it really doesn't really matter how they present themselves on the surface. In my opinion, up to them. But what would you say to that?
What I say to that is very simple. This. A lot of brothers, with all due, a lot of brothers have been raised and inculcated and conditioned to where they think that this is all there is.
Yeah.
And that I want to be very careful with my words on this. And that the modern day Black American woman, writ large, I'm not saying every last one of them, but generally, that you, Black man, must wrestle with that, contend with that, deal with that, handle that, all that. No, you don't. All you gotta do is get one of these, brother.
Now,
bro, don't no other man in no other ethnic group tell his men to go somewhere else and abandon their women. Like, I don't see that. I can be wrong. It might be in your book, right? I'll read it to see, but I just don't. I've never seen that.
Are you aware of the fact, brother, that there, right in our backyard, there are over 100 million Black people? Brazil has a population of just over 200 million. Half are Black. The city of Santiago Santiago de Cali in Colombia, 70% Black. It's basically like Detroit. Detroit and Memphis are like 70% Black. The city of Cartagena in Colombia is 40% Black, like my hometown here in Philly, 40% Black. Brother, you got Afro-Colombians and Afro-Cubans and Afro-Panamanians and Afro-Dominicanas.
So the answer is to learn Spanish and Portuguese.
You are not.
Is that what we're saying?
No.
Not limited. And what's wrong with learning another language?
Okay. Let me.
Hold on, y'all. Obsidian, I have to agree with him. I think, first of all, I was in Spain this year, so I will say this, Obsidian. Women are women everywhere. Now, you're going to deal with the similar problems. It's just not going to leave such the bad taste in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You might have the same beverage, but it might go down a little sweeter. But women are women. That's for one. For two, you're right, but this is the problem. Like we was talking the other day on the panel, we was talking about how when we talk about black men and black issues, that it's kind of like disingenuous or asinine to not take into account historical context. And when it comes to the passport situation, right now, while the world is moving to a global understanding, you have a new ideology that's shrinking the world of the black person with the FBA perspective. And I think it's highly ironic that at the time when the world is going this way, ideology has come and made black people feel like all they need to connect with and all they need to understand is their own people in America. I think that's very, very, very coincidental at best, because I think it's a counterproductive conversation, because I think any man, regardless of race, but especially the black man, if you study the history of us, he was a global, international person. I think the black man should be trying to have an international lifestyle. Like you said, what's wrong with learning a different language? Like, I don't know why we don't have this, the world, we say the world is yours and rap songs and all that shit, but do we believe that? I don't think we believe it. It's like, there's no way you're going to tell me that all I have is what's over here in this country. Like, I'm a citizen. I tell my daughter, I said, when you leave the house, you're not just a citizen of your city, you're a citizen of your country. You're not just a citizen of the country, you're a citizen of the world. And beyond that, you're not just a citizen of the world. When you step out your house, you are a part of the universe. So it's like, I don't have these doors. And I feel like at a time when we need to be extending, someone else has brought something to us, shrinking us once again. How do you feel about that FBA perspective, Mumia? And how do you think it's in the way of a global understanding for the black man?
I do. The black American culture, as a result of slavery, Jim Crow, is a very insular culture. It's very insular, and you could make the case that at one time in American history that insularity was necessary as a defense. But it's now becoming counterproductive.
Yes,
it is now becoming, because we are in a globalized age. And I just wanted to drop another quick stat on you. I know I've been dropping some numbers on.
Go ahead, man.
Let me drop another number on you. Did you know that the divorce rate in Black America is around 40%? And that, of course, women in general in the United States file for divorce at a rate of around 70%. But overseas, passport bros have a divorce rate under 30%. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That since 2020, well, 2021, since 2021, black men, so that we're clear on this, when I say passport bros, I mean black American men. Black American men going overseas to either get married, get a girlfriend, or just have a good time. And I don't judge. I'm not one of these brothers that like to pocket watch and monitor what another man does on his dime and his time. That's his business. That number has gone up over 200%. Over 200. Now, in the Black Manosphere Conclave, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get the link so everybody here can read the statistics for themselves. In the Black Manosphere Conclave, we take exit surveys of our brothers, and we do that every year for every conclave. So we got the new numbers about to drop in a minute for Miami in September. But let me give you the numbers from last year in Houston. In Houston, last year we did an exit survey for the brothers, and we found that 79% of them are active passport holders. Half of that number travels out of the country 6 times a year or more. See, when you, I hear what a lot of brothers are saying. I understand where they're coming from, but let me explain this to you. See, when you get a whole new perspective on life, money is part of it. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. You get a whole new perspective on life. The ends are hitting. You got a whole new perspective because you're spending time at the Waldorf Astoria, or you spending time at the Four Seasons, or you spending time at the Ritz-Carlton, or you spending time at the Westin Buckhead. You get the idea, or the Sonesto on Rittenhouse Square. See, when you do something like
fly shit, man. I like that fly shit, man. Talk that shit.
When you get a whole new perspective on that. So many brothers at the con, it's funny. They be like, man, I have some. You still thinking about Keisha, bro? You know who's that? Who's Keisha?
Well, man, check this out. Tell me, I mean to cut you off, but I want to see if you peep this. This is what I peeped dealing with when I was dealing with this. I was dealing with a young lady from Spain. She was in Madrid, and she was a theoretical physicist. And in conversating with her, what made her like me is because I was able to keep up in conversation. I always challenge her, like we had a mental bond. And one thing I realized that while a lot of American men are pushing, not just American men, but the FVA movement is so anti a lot of other people. And I've met people who not even FVA, but they still share this sentiment. They're not really ready to deal with a woman who is really smart and really feminine. They really can't deal with her either. Like I meet guys, and that's like when I was talking to Shorty, I'm like, yo, the average dude I know wouldn't be able to even keep up a conversation with her because it's not a pseudo intelligence like over here. We're talking about a woman who's studying quantum theory, and a lot of brothers are not even studious enough for that upper echelon woman who like have to almost like a Laura Croft or something like that. It's like when you go overseas, these people have. One thing, when I met her, I realized that a lot of foreigners, people from Europe and Spain and Africa, they're very cultured, man. You know what I'm saying? And they really appreciate real intelligence. And a lot of brothers, they don't read, they're not well read, they don't. It's like if someone hears you speak, they should know where you're from. Based on how you carry yourself, based on how your conversation, you should be able to talk to anybody from any walks of life. And a lot of brothers only deal with the Keisha because they can't really connect mentally with women on a different frequency as well. Have you noticed that as well, Mumia?
Not only have I noticed it.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Yeah. Not only have I noticed.
Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, not only have I noticed that, it's a very sad state of affairs. The Black American man in general has been given a very bad hand in American life. We all know the reasons why. But what I say to my conclave brothers, and we do talk about these things at the conclave, we talk about it behind closed doors. And what I say to them, the things you're about to go through with this conclave, you're not going to be the same man on the other side. You're going to be a different man. The success that you will experience will change you.
Mm-hmm.
It will change you, not just in terms of getting a new car or getting a really cool condo or being able to date really beautiful women. Fair enough. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is your whole perspective on life changing. And it's going to be very difficult for you to go back to your previous life. It's a lot like going into the federal witness protection program, where you get a whole new life, and you really can't go back. And we talk a lot at the conclave about brothers who are like the one you described, Dylan. And once you ascend, and 80% of our brothers do, 80. They tell us it's very hard to go. It's very hard to go back to that life because, as you rightly pointed out, Illa, you're just not. You're not aligned on the same plane anymore. You're just not. So that's the reason why we talk a lot at the conclave. It's more than just the money. It's a whole mindset. I say to brothers all the time, you don't go to the same stores anymore. You don't shop at. I'm talking about simple day-to-day stuff. You don't shop at the same supermarket anymore because you don't eat the same food anymore. Because you don't buy sheets at the same place you used to buy sheets for your bed anymore. I mean, things like that. We're not even talking about. You know what's funny about the conclave? To answer your question, what we're talking about right now. We talk about a lot of this at the conclave behind closed doors. You know about it. There's this idea that we brothers we go into a big hotel room. We talk about how bad black women are on the weekend. We only spend maybe 20% of the entire weekend we spend talking about women in relationships. You want to talk about the majority of the time? The technical skills required in a 21st century world and beyond to be able to thrive anywhere on planet Earth, number one. Number two, how to manage that money responsibly. Number three, how to the importance of understanding yourself, getting your head on straight, mental health. We got brothers that are licensed and credentialed mental health brothers that specialize in black men, okay, and are red pill aligned, if you will, which is very rare in the therapist world. Very rare. Most of them are feminist aligned. We talk about that, style and image, communication skill and social skill, not just with regard to women, that's part of it. But the main part is in, like you just got finished saying, where you could go to Madrid or Barcelona and have a conversation with pretty much anyone, not just ladies, but pretty much anyone and be at ease. Or you could go to Sao Paulo, or you could go to Havana, or you could go to or to Tokyo or Osaka, or you could go to Moscow or St. Petersburg. No matter where you go, you will be able to fit in terms of having a conversation with people and you coming across as a cultured, well-traveled, a cosmopolitan gentleman. See, things like that we discuss.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm talking about, Mumia, because these women and either other men who act like women, they're so busy trying to out-earn men. It's not about, let them do that. Because you can out-earn me, but you can never outclass me. See, you don't have to have class to get money in America. You don't have to be. Look at this woman that just spoke. She wasn't even that. Fuck what she talk. Fuck her talking points. She's not even intelligent. But in America, that person can be eye to eye with an accomplished person. That dynamic to me is damn it. Just to keep subjecting yourself to watching that, to listen to that, to having to critique that, to me is damaging to the mind of the black man in America. We have to outclass these people. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, like, even in this content, I don't have the most subscribers. I don't have a lot of stuff. But my network is crazy. And the people that I've been able to connect with behind the scenes, you wouldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? That only can come from the universal language of communication. And to have adequate communication, you have to humble yourself. That's why I tell men to read. It's not about to just have arguments on the internet with people, but in learning things and in broadening your horizons and being cultured on history in different areas, it shows people that you're humble. There's a graciousness in that, because you're saying, hey, I'm acquiescing what I think and what I was raised and what I think is cool, to submit my mind and submit my perspective to something totally different. That's very humbling, and the world respects that. They don't respect that here. But go ahead. You wanted to jump in that, Keish?
My biggest issue.
Sean, it was on Sean. I'm sorry, Sean. You wanted to get in there, and then it's on Keish.
Yeah, couple of things. Everything was saying, I agree and I understand. But are we addressing the fact that We're abandoning our people. Are we addressing the fact that has happened before? We've been cultured. We went to war outside of the country. We had exotic things before, and we are now in the position where we are. A lot of the mentality of why we're in that position is due to that abandonment, and we're just glossing over that and even encouraging to do so further. Now, that's part of why I said I can do that. As you said, here's my passport. I got that too. I've been places, all that. Here we go. But the point is, we're not resolving our issue. We're running away from it. And we don't address that with one another. We continue to advocate. Go ahead and say, forget it. I'm throwing in the towel with my people. And I'm going to other people. And so,
but Sean, this is my pushback to that. I think it's a difference between saying I don't care about the community, because like what Lamia talking about, he's talking about something that's based in Black American development. His program is developing Black American men. That's going to make Black American, whoever those young men. If you're doing something for Black men in America, you're doing something for their children. You're doing something for whoever they're associated with, because uplifting them is, hold on, by proxy, they're going to lift whoever's around them, who's willing to go.
I understand.
But I think it's a difference between abandoning them socially and going towards a greener pastures when it comes to your personal relationship life.
I just said we did that before. We've
never done that. Black men have never done that. Black men have never done that.
What are you referring to? Wait.
So you mean to tell me that Black men in the prime of their life in America, in their 20s, in their early 20s, early 30s, had a global massive movement to become globally more cultural, to understand the world around them on their own dime? I've never seen that in my life.
I've never seen that either.
Well, first off, you're throwing in a lot of different. You're talking about a lot of elements that you're adding in there on their own dime. It doesn't matter whose dime you're on.
No, it does matter. Because I'm gonna tell you why it does matter. Because most men who have, in my opinion, in my life, especially in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, most men who went overseas most of the time came from. They was in the army, or they was playing overseas in the league. It wasn't a culture of Black men just traveling all over the world at a young age, like we see now as a viable option of connection. I've never seen that before.
Again.
Have you seen that, Sean?
Yes. I come from hip hop. Yes.
You're talking about a specialized group.
Hip hop never preached that.
A general movement of the everyday man becoming a global citizen.
What you're saying is, you got to realize, when I say I come from hip hop, have y'all been on hip hop tours with men all go together?
We're talking about a small group. We're talking about a general movement, not a secret society.
Can I finish?
Go ahead, Sean.
Yes, we collectively went to another country, had a plan while we were going there, wanted to bring our people and brought our people, and engaged in those communities, learned those cultures and those different places, and had the money to do so on our own dime. Then we also have, that's rappers, we also had military who go on the government's dime. Collectively, they go there and they form alliances. They form a group settings. And correct me if I'm wrong. And they do things together.
Sean, you're speaking. Sean, I'm sorry, bro, but you're talking about something that's a byproduct of their talent in rap, which is something that they don't have to change. This is what I'm saying. If I'm a rapper from the streets of Philly or New York or Brooklyn, me being overseas is a product of my talent. I don't necessarily have to change. I'm famous, I'm rich, so I'm over here as a byproduct of the industry that I'm in. That's not the same thing with basketball or the Army. Those are byproducts of the industry. Hold on, that's not the same as the culture, as a group consciousness decision make to say, I'm going to intentionally create a life for me that is going to make my experience a global one. That's not the same thing.
That's not the culture, but that has nothing to do with culture.
It depends on who you're talking about.
Am I wrong?
Wait. Chuck D just texted me a few minutes ago.
Chuck D. How many people know that?
So my point is, you're saying it didn't exist.
We're not saying that. We're talking about a massive movement, not the specialized groups. These small groups you're talking about. How many men went on tour with Wu-Tang Clan, bro?
What are you talking about? It's a massive movement. What is more massive about that movement than the movement I'm talking about?
Because the culture of black people, because the culture, not everybody in black culture, in American black culture, know about hip hop. Some people, just average everyday people, the average everyday black person that I assume is at Ali's conclave, don't represent hip hop. They're the average everyday.
Do they know about it?
I'm not going to even say it,
but hold on.
City, you still there? I want you to come back, bro. I'm not.
I'll be right back in a second.
I can't even say that. We know hip hop was a movement, but it's a difference when you're going to a place. If you're a rap star and you're a part of a rap entourage, when you're going to a different country, you're going under a different pretense and you're held to a different standard than a person who's just going there. Hold on, bro. Than a person who's just going there. When you're a rapper, if I'm on tour with Run DMC or I'm on tour with fucking MC,
I use Chuck specifically, and I didn't use Run DMC. I use Stetsasonic specifically, and I'm not using Run DMC. So if you're using the conclave, for example, they're specific to a certain what their goal and agenda is, and so with these people, these rappers that I'm using as
examples. The goal of rappers is to go over there, make money, and push what they're on over there.
What I'm trying to share with you, that's not Illa. That's not true. AFR, I see.
It's the difference between Travis Scott going over the. You think Travis Scott? Hold on, let me just answer this question. You think Travis Scott, the rapper? You think when he goes to Budapest, he has to acquiesce and really be engaged in the culture, or he's held to that degree that just the average black man who just goes there? Who do you think they're going to demand more of an engagement in their culture? The rich celebrity rapper or the everyday brother?
Like myself.
Okay, now
I'm asking you, Sean. Which one?
Can I answer the question?
Yes, which one?
Okay, which one? Who? First off, the average everyday brother. No, I want you to listen. That's what I want you to do. First off, the average everyday brother is not affording to go over there, so it's not the average everyday brother. He is so let's stop that nonsense. He is already astute and already accomplished in his own community. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are wrong. Because the average everyday brother ain't just an income in the consciousness of today. I'm not talking about the average income.
It's an average everyday brother over there in.
I'm talking about somebody who's successful outside of the glamorous roles. Because if I'm making $150,000 from a truck, I could be a truck driver. It's not going to have the same effect on somebody who's a rapper or a basketball player.
My point. I agree with that. The point that I'm saying is that you're absolutely correct. It's not about, I said it earlier, it's about what you value. The people you're talking about value consciousness, value intelligence, value culture. That's who I am referring to when I'm referring to the rappers I even spoke about. They value those things. So it's not about how much they got or how much they don't got. It's about what you value. So I agree with what the Conclave brothers are doing. I understand that they value the cultural and the broadening the cultural intake, the cultural perspective, and more. So I'm not disputing that. I agree with that, and I'm not saying that. I asked earlier about abandonment of our community here. That's what I asked about. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
disputing or discouraging. Don't go abroad and don't broaden your perspectives. I'm not saying don't broaden your perspectives. I agree with him, but you're broadening it for what? Are you broadening it for to stay out there? Or you broaden it to enhance and build yours?
But Sean,
Why can't you stay out there and enhance here?
hold on. Let me ask Sean this question. Sean,
yes,
men older than me, your age, older than Ella, black men in general have tried to help black culture. What was the response to our helping black culture? Not appreciated. It's always been niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't that, niggas can. So I think black men have done enough and overperformed to try to help black women and the rest of black culture. I think at this point, stage in the game, black men need to take care of themselves and expand themselves, like Ali is saying.
I hear what you're saying. And
So it's not.
that's
So
part of
you're
what I'm
asking
pushing
black
back on.
men.
What I'm pushing back on is exactly what you just said. And the reason why I'm pushing back on it is because it's a very selfish, and it has been done before, and it failed us.
What has been done before? With black men
We have looked out for ourselves. We have gotten money. We have gotten culture. We have went into other countries, learned about them, gotten their women.
Black men are the most involved father when it comes to their kids. How they that was philosophical and everybody else on the channel. Wasn't that the main thing that black women requested of us? And we did that. How they treated, how they respected that. No,
I just don't remember this mass exodus of men just saying we're leaving American women and we're just going to just start a whole. I never seen no mass movement of men doing that.
Black culture don't preach that. Black culture on the whole. Matter of
The
fact,
only men that was afforded that was celebrity men and men that was like involved in like the music industry.
Let me ask you. Does the Nation of Islam exist? Don't they? Haven't they done that? They successfully did it, didn't they? Did they do the way that you're talking about? No. They have created a movement of intelligent brothers who basically have built a community in America that's self-sufficient.
Dude, does the
that
culture
our
respond
leaders
to that properly?
Excuse me?
How many black people are Nation of Islam right now? Remember, black culture didn't even like NOI like that in the beginning.
Again, and did NOI care about that? Or did they continue to build their own?
But that doesn't. But Bill, I mean, what's your own?
I'm giving you an example of a successful movement that did go outside.
I mean, that success is subjective because how successful can it be? You know why it's not that successful? It's respectable.
What's your definition of success?
That you will be a part of it. That's what it is. You will be in it if it was that. You're not in it. You're not even Muslim. You're Christian. So what I'm saying is, hold on. If what they I'm gonna indulge your argument. If their methodology is such a good program, as an example, whether it be spiritually, culturally, why aren't you a Muslim? Why aren't you in the Nation of Islam? Obviously, it's not good enough for you.
Let me answer your question. Don't answer it for me. Let me answer it. First off, religion in itself is very hypocritical and divisive.
You brought up a religious group.
But you brought it up.
You brought him up.
Are y'all gonna let me finish my comment, or y'all just gonna continue to jump in?
You got it.
Okay. You asked me why am I not in the Nation of Islam?
Only because you brought him up.
Is that what you're not asking? Okay, so let me answer that. Again, I find religious places very hypocritical, religious leaders. But I do find the structure in, especially the Nation of Islam, I find the structure that they have very inviting to men. The discipline that they exercise very is very admirable and enticing to men. And so I do respect, and I did follow the Nation of Islam for that reason. But I wasn't religious whatsoever.
So you was a part of the Nation of Islam, like you joined the Nation of Islam at one point?
Did you hear what I said?
You said you followed them. I don't know what that means. Follow just means I check them out. I
You
go
do
to
know
the
what it means.
time.
Stop acting. It means exactly I follow. Did I say
So
I
you
joined?
was Muslim.
Join means join, and follow
So
means
you-
follow.
you
I didn't say
follow.
join.
Sean is a
I
follower.
didn't say join.
I'm trying to. I mean, so you was a part of the congregation, or you was a part of the fruit, or you was a Muslim? You went as a spectator, or was you a participant?
You're not that. I said what
I'm just
I said.
asking because they're Muslims.
I answered that in my question. I said I followed. If I was a part of, I would have said I'm part of. Stop acting
so
like
you just checked it out. You checked it out.
But no, I followed. Why are you acting like you don't understand follow?
Check it out.
Why are you acting like you don't understand follow?
I'm saying,
Why are you acting like? I didn't say join. I didn't say participate. I said I follow.
When I say follow, when people say they say I follow the teachers of the Honorable Minister Elijah Muhammad. They follow what they say they Muslim. That's what they mean, Sean.
According
you
to
playing
your
word
own,
games, Sean.
According to your own thing, Illa.
It ain't my thing. You brought it up.
Listen to what I'm saying. According to your own beliefs, if it didn't come out my mouth, why did you get it that way? It did come out my mouth. I said follow. I didn't say join. I said follow. So why are you coming up with join? You sound like both.
No.
So stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me, man.
Sure.
Just like her.
Sure.
Is because a lot of times men sound just like women, but they fight against women.
Okay.
You sound just like a woman when it's convenient.
Okay, he got his moment. He got his moment.
What I'm saying
hit me when the ref turned his back. He stole me when the ref turned around in the corner. He stole me.
What I'm saying is all of this confusion and complication.
Ain't no confusion. You brought up a religious organization as an example.
Why? What did I bring it up for?
I'm gonna just give you what I heard.
Okay. Give me what I said, like you said. Give me what I said.
That's what you said. You brought up a religious organization as an example of doing something with your home country or with your people. That you brought up a religious organization who has a specific regimen of living. The fact that we still, but the fact that organization is here. And it's not the organization, is one of many, shows you that there is no community. Because even what you brought up as something that's a good role isn't good enough for you. So what I'm saying
wait. First off, there's no community? Really?
Most black people did not accept NOI when they started.
Have you been to
pockets. I'm talking about a consensus community.
So this is what I want to say to both of you.
A consensus.
Okay. Once
consensus.
Is there a community that is successfully that has achieved success?
Let me give you an example of what I mean. No, I don't think so. This is why I think this is why I define a success. Success to me is monolithic. Like all Jews move a certain way. They all read the Torah. They all hold on. They all do it. In the black community, we define success by pockets of groups. Success is uniformity. It's not segmented.
Now, first off, all of nothing happened. No, all the Jews don't follow the same thing. That's why they have different denominations of Jews, just like other parts of religion.
Orthodox Jews go to Sabbath or go to Saturday church. Even they do it.
I said not all.
Mumi, I want you, after Sean go, Mumi, I need you to jump in there. I'm sure you got something to say.
What happens is we generalize.
This is fascinating. Listening to this because I mean, how do you? I don't know how you square the circle, but I mean, carry on.
This is my man Sean. Sean, we do this all the time off camera. So this is our conversations. Period. Sean is my guy.
Well, what happens is, and likewise, but the thing that I say is that there's a lot of hypocrisy that we do amongst ourselves. And we sit there and ignore it we generalize when it's convenient, and then we get specific when it's convenient. We say all, very conveniently, and it's never all. That's what women do when we complain about them. They sit there and say, all men in this, all men in that. And, again,
what do we speak? All I'm talking about is in advocating for black men to have a global understanding of reality, not limit their mindset, their approach, their networks to just America. That's advantageous for America.
And that's why
that's not divisive. That's not breaking down no community. That's extending the community.
That's why I brought up the Nation of Islam. It's because
not every black person in America accepted NOI when they first started. Most black people make fun of them for not eating pork.
But that's besides the point. I get you. But Sean, the thing is, when you brought up an example, but this the thing. Why your example? I feel like you brought up what Bo did or what a woman did, but you did what women do, and that is make a point just for the sake of making a point. Because why would you bring up something that you personally don't advocate for? You brought up You brought up an organization that's religious.
You listen, because I said I advocate. I said I advocate
for structure.
For the
structure, but it's still
I
a
didn't
religious
say
structure.
that I advocated for the religious part of that. I said,
but that's what makes it structured. Is the religion? That is the structure.
No. The discipline makes it structured. That's part of it. That's what I'm advocating. That's what I am speaking to. The discipline, and I said it earlier, but you didn't hear it.
But
I said the structure earlier.
For example, what's the structure of the Christian faith? What's their structure?
Well, first off,
Jesus Christ.
Let me go even further. So you asked me why I'm not even.
Hold on, Sean. I got a shout out. Got a big dog. Came out his luxury cave to go talk to the commoners. Shout out to
what up, Trill?
Big Trill in the building, showing love. Oh, what's up, Trill? You know, it's always quality over quantity over here, man. We don't need 1 million people here, man. As long as we got the right one, we're good. He said, salute to my dog. Dope conversation. Love to the panel. Appreciate you, Trill, man. I gotta get you up here soon, man. You already know, bro. I should have gave you the link, but you know, I ain't want to damage the brand. But thank you for the super chat, brother. It's all love, man. I appreciate you, brother. It's my dog, for real, for real.
The commonality between the commonality. The commonality.
So I got a question for you.
Wait. The commonality.
Give me another group.
That can you listen? The commonality that I respect in the Nation of Islam, I also respect in what he was just describing as the Conclave Brothers. I also respect in the Jewish community. I also respect in other communities who have, as you said, the unification. They're structurally unified. Now they have. Now it could be based around the religion, as Kish said, the Sabbath and the religious unification. It could be struck about the viewpoints, as Brother Ali said. That's what I respect, the structure and the unity. All I'm asking is not to. I look for the similarities in what we're doing as opposed to the differences. So I can respect all of the. I respect the Jews.
The main part of the conversation was: do all black people on the same accord? When you bring up the
once
NOI,
again, how do you?
Most black people don't follow that.
And no, that wasn't the main thing. That wasn't the main thing.
No, you brought it up as an example of the structure, but I think we got off the point. The point is not even about examples of structure, because the men that are in certain groups. First of all, what people got to realize is it's like when you're talking to a woman. A woman don't become a wife. She's already a wife. And then a man recognizes the wife in her and he marries her. You don't become that. You born that. So men who come to these events already got the structure. That's why they meet other structured men in an event like that. They already have a structured mindset to even meet you there. So it's not about structure. It's about exposure and expansion. And that's why I think we're getting lost. Black men need to be told, advocated to be world conquerors in their mindset. Yes. Because historically, that's what we were. Black men were seafarers. The Moors were traveling all over the fucking world. They had networks of people all over the world. It's like I don't know if y'all remember this commercial. This commercial, I used to love this commercial. And I'm like, that's who I want to be. It was a beer commercial. It was funny, but it was slick. It had a message if you peeped it. It was this Dos Equis commercial. And they had this white guy, and they called him the most interesting man in the world. And they had these little jokes like he has inside jokes for strangers. When opportunity knocks and he doesn't answer, opportunity comes back. He gave his father the talk. He's the most interesting man in the world. It's like that type of shit. It's not about alienating the community. It's about even Jesus. Christians love Jesus, right? Jesus left the community, got the knowledge, and came back. Black men need to leave the community to bring something back to the community that can help them.
What was my original point? What was my original
I'm
point?
saying that's what we were talking about. We were talking about passport bros and how we going overseas and
And
not
what
just
did
the
I
word
ask about?
passport bro.
What did I ask about?
You said
Abandonment.
don't leave
So
the
if you're
community.
saying that you're not going to abandon your community and you're coming back to the community, we have a very
But that was already obvious. The conclave is an American concept.
I asked the
American
question. If it was obvious, I wouldn't ask the question. I said, I said, what about abandonment? Was that my question that posed all of this? Or did y'all feel
You been hanging with Jimmy
comfortable?
Iovine them too much, man. You know them tricks, man.
Okay. Did I not ask that question? Before everybody on this panel, I'm asking each and every man here, did you hear me ask about abandonment? Did you hear me that? Say that.
You
Was
kind
that
of
something in my imagination?
you kind of said like, oh, I don't like it. Sound like we leaving the community. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like.
what you said.
If we're wrong, then we correct me wrong.
And did I not use the word abandonment? I said, hey, what is it abandonment? I said, we haven't done that before. Is that what we're doing? That was my concern. That was my only pushback.
My answer to that would be no.
And that's cool.
Now the question I asked you is: have black men been abandoned by the community?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh. So are you a fan of martyrdom?
Excuse me?
I said, are you a fan of martyrdom?
That's a good one.
At this point, that's where we at with it.
I'm not a fan of anything that can divide. And I say that only because if it can bring us to a collective state that can help us move forward together.
Your phone, you breaking up. You breaking up.
I said, I'm not a fan of anything that can divide us. I think the Modern Conquer has been a tool that has been used throughout history to be able to put us in the conditions that we are in right now. And so if in fact something from one side of the group will unite us, like for example, that's why I don't like politics, I don't like religion like that, because if in fact you're on a team, so to speak, that means that you're alienating anything from the other team that might be beneficial to where you're trying to go. And I'm not a fan of that. But
I think we at a point in our community where we're realizing what we thought was isn't, and this is a 0 point where new concepts are going to arise, and everybody just not going to go. Like even in the Bible, if you believe that, they said there was a remnant. It was always talking about a remnant or 44,000. It was never everybody never was a part of nothing in those stories. So this concept, this fairy tale about everybody, it sound good. Only thing when I think about everybody, the only demographic I think that all should be benefit from is children. Grown-ups? No. Because you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and we cannot get grown men and women to open their brains. It's easier to repair young. They say it's easier to raise strong boys than repair broken men. You can't take broken grown-ups and do nothing with them. So when I see patches of grown-ups saying, I'm going towards a new concept, that has to happen. Like everybody is not going to make it. We're in a I think the universe and the spiritual climate is separating the wheat from the chaff. It's just what it is. Everybody's not coming. But Mumia, and I don't want to hold you guys too long. I want you to answer this for me. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the biggest misconception with the men that's looking abroad that you hear oftentimes, that you might have heard even tonight?
The single biggest misconception is that the idea that black men are interested in non-black women when going overseas. That's not true. Black men Black American men consistently seek out areas where there are black women in large numbers. Like I said, Brazil, half the country is black, and it's like 200 million population. So 100 million black people right there. Cuba, you have a sizable Afro-Cuban population. Colombia, another country that has a not insignificant number of Afro-Latins and Latinas. Panama. So I mean, we can just go on right down the list. The idea, and then there's Africa itself. we've had since 2023 5 brothers that have come out of the conclave to get married. All of them through sisters on the African continent, from Morocco to South Africa. So the idea that brothers who exercise an option to seek women outside of Black America itself, all of them just wanting to be with non-Black women, not true. They are the minority.
Wow, that's pretty interesting, and I commend you for what you just described. But again, I'll say this: it's not about your environment; it's about the mentality. The mentality of those places that you just mentioned also have a very significant issue with colorism. So the fact that you're going over there is not changing the mentality. And the fact that you're bringing them here or you're staying there doesn't change the mentality. That colorism is part of what we got to really attack. In the mindset of that colorism, rather, we have to attack, because otherwise we're just changing the environment. Eddie Murphy said it pretty much a long time ago when he said he went to Africa, or in his joke, and he said he went and got the bush bitch, as he called her, and he said that he brought her back to America, and America infested her mindset with the mentality that we're talking about. And Goonie Goo Umfufu said, "I want half." And so it's the mentality that I'm referring to that we just keep on glossing over.
That's not evidence, Sean. That's a joke from Eddie Murphy.
That's a subjective joke.
Again, most jokes are rooted in truth.
Yeah, but you can't bring that in a serious conversation.
I did. Once again, why not? Because it needs to lighten up sometimes. And that's what I do.
With the truth.
Okay, cool. And once again, all jokes are rooted in truth.
Brooklyn, boy.
Okay, you're right. All jokes are rooted in truth. So again, like I said, the mentality is what.
How many times Eddie Murphy been married in America?
Again, it's the joke.
Let's talk about it. He ain't get divorced from Fufu. He got divorced from somebody from over here multiple times.
Okay, he's married to somebody over here.
He ain't her name in Fufu.
No, he not. Even Martin Lawrence
you're absolutely right, because Mfufu is still in Africa.
Exactly. So in real,
just like all the Brazilian girls. Only reason why the let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Why are the women so cooperative usually? Because they want to come over here and get a better life, correct? And we can provide that for them.
That's not always true, Sean.
I never said always. Stop using that whole specific. I said most. I said most women.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, so can you prove it?
I don't think most women are. Okay, like I said, the woman I was dating, bro, she was making $250,000 a year, bro. Okay, she didn't even come over here for shit.
That's called the exception. Can we go?
We don't know. We don't live
there. Now you don't know nothing. Now you don't know.
Now
you don't know. You don't know the stat. Well, then pull up the stat. I
do know.
Everybody's intelligent. Pull up the stats that you believe.
Never married in Fufu.
Pull up the stats that you believe. Now we ain't joking no more. Now we ain't joking no more. I said the joke. We over that. Pull up the stats that prove your point.
But more get that stat.
I don't have the numbers on that one.
What stats did he give me? He gave me examples of 5 people that were successful.
You're right. But this is another misconception. And Mumia, you probably could attest to this.
Yeah.
Most men who describe the dynamic of men going overseas are only coming from even whether they do it consciously or subconsciously. Sean even doing it. They're speaking from the perspective of the sexual voyeur.
Yeah.
The DR guy, the PR guy, the Cancun guy. You're not talking about the man that's going to Germany. You're not talking about the man that's going to Australia. You're not talking about the man that's just going to different countries just for the cultural experience. We're thinking about that girl who he met at in Sosua, and he got her pregnant. He got to get her a green card. That's not the general consensus of men that go overseas, because a lot of those women have careers over there. They're established. They just not Americanized. Like I said earlier, all women want stability. All women want a fairy tale to a degree. I just think the women overseas leave a slightly less bitter taste in your mouth, but they serving the same drink. It's just shaken, not stirred. You feel me?
They also call black men weak in their masculinity for doing that too. A lot of the brothers over here, they said black men are weak. They don't have strong masculinity because they're going overseas. When you look at history, men of all different cultures have always done that. They always go for. They always
Like
go
this
to
quote
another.
right here. Look what the brother said. In many East Asian cultures, China, Japan, norms emphasize emotional restraint, harmony, and moderation in expressing feelings, and especially in public or group settings. Like, we're not saying that they're different species overseas. It's just a different
culture.
And at some point, why do men have to keep tolerating what's over here, man? If it's other races that's willing to cooperate, like at what point do men or do black men have to keep dealing with this? Like, at the sake of what? The community is in the loins of the black man, so he can create the community. To be honest,
Right.
He can
I'm not advocating or encouraging that black men stay and continuously deal with the behavior of the black women in our community right
I mean,
now.
you're saying black women, just American women.
Well, American women. I speak to the black women because that's what I'm speaking to, because that's what I'm interested in. But you're right. It doesn't only consist of the black woman, but that's what I'm speaking to.
But there's
And
black women more just America. That's why I'm saying it's not a black thing,
again,
'cause you can deal with black women overseas.
I've been overseas and I've seen the black women, and I've met a lot of black women in Germany, as well as in Europe, as well as in South America, as well as in other places. So I'm not.
Sean, what makes you, besides wanting to be there for them because we know what goes on, what advantage do you think? And I'm not trying to be funny because I think there is some, but I just want your opinion. What do you think separates the black woman from other women in a positive way from overseas? Like, what does she have that they don't have, that they're missing?
Well, she does have a lot of fight in her.
Oh, we know.
We know that.
Yeah. I know you know that. You asked me what do they have that's different. She has a lot of fight. Now, if that fight was directed in spaces and places,
woman that's got a lot of fight in her. What's
that was his first stage.
Okay.
He said.
Okay. So let me answer that very, very clearly. I was answering it before you even answered the question. Asked the question. What I said is that if that fight is directed in the right direction, it can be very valuable.
Even with as a woman, even in the right direction, I don't want that in her.
Well,
Right.
again, that's what you.
Why does she gotta fight?
Well, first off,
she's normally fighting her black man.
I said directed. If it's directed, it wouldn't be at her black man. I'm very clear.
In the ideal scenario,
Now to answer your question, Ella.
have to fight.
To answer your question, Ella, why would I want her to fight? I wouldn't want her to fight, but I want her to be able to, if necessary.
You know where she loses that fight? And y'all gonna hate me for saying this, Sean. When she's with a white man, she don't have that fight.
Actually, she does.
No, she don't.
She does. Okay. Yeah, that's a very that's a very significant talking point that a lot of people use, but it's not always true.
But it's true. You see clips of black women jumping up on TikTok saying the Brown effect. And she loses all her fight.
And now TikTok is the measurement of what we believe in.
No, we're not gonna do that. But Sean, give me one outside of her aggression. Give me a.
I didn't say aggression. I said fight.
Well, fighting is aggression. It's still aggressive.
Okay, it can be. Okay, right? in fairness, that can be synonymous. I agree with you. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, in the realm of feminine nature, what does she have today over a foreign woman?
What can she cook that other women can't cook?
I ain't asked you for cook. I said, what do she got? Because I want to answer specifically. As far as feminine attributes, socially and behavior-wise, what does she bring that gives her an advantage to the other woman, over the other woman, if any, in your opinion, Sean?
Behavior-wise, that's an unfair question because that's where she's at a disadvantage. It's her behavior.
You said positive.
That's exactly that's exactly what needs to be worked on. Is her behavior.
She said positive. If it needs to be worked on, it's not a positive.
No shit, Sherlock.
But
get it. That's what I said. That's why I said it's an unfair question to say what does she have over the other person. Her behavior is what she is her disadvantage to.
So give me anything she got besides the fight. What is it?
The black woman in America. Is that what we're asking right now?
The American woman.
The American woman right now don't have much.
That's not positive.
I think you kind of answered our question. Shout out to the conclave.
I did. I said they don't have much. I don't mean that they can't get much.
But that's not what.
At the expense
and who's responsible for them getting much? Is it us?
It's a lot of things that's responsible. It's not.
I said who's responsible for them to get much? Who's responsible for them to help things?
They are.
Brothers, I got to tap out because I got a big day tomorrow. I got to get these books out.
Yeah, I'm about to shut it down anyway.
But we got a lot going on at the conclave. We got a brand new course getting ready to drop in the spring for brothers to get in the cloud computing, become a certified cloud security professional. We got a really big thing going down in Vegas next year. The Black Manosphere Conclave itself. All kinds of really great stuff coming down the pike. I will be back to give regular updates. All Illo has to do, he's got my phone number. All he's got to do is just hit me up anytime. I come anytime and sit in on the panel with him. In the meantime, hit up our website, www.blackmanosphere.com/BMC. And if you want to get a copy of the Gospel of St. Kevin, 100 to my Cash App, $ Obsidian Radio, 100 signed, 75 unsigned. $ Obsidian Radio. Illa, it's been great, man. I gotta get up out of here.
Peace, bro. Peace. Yeah, we about to shut it down, though, man. We had an interesting conversation tonight. As you can see, we don't all have the same perspectives, but my view is I definitely think we should help the community. But like I said, romantic interest may not be how we can do that. Like, we have to realize that we might work together, but it may not necessarily mean romantically. Can we find value in it? Because if we're women, black women saying they want one thing that we don't agree with, and black men are saying they want something they don't agree with, we still have to figure out getting along. And I feel like we have to learn how to be together without being romantic. If we could only get along with each other on a romantic level, that's a very savage, low vibrational people, because obviously we're at a standstill. So we must find some type of solace for the next generation, because we are where we are. You know what I'm saying? We have to heal, and our healing may come through dealing with other people, but we can still teach our children what not to do. But as far as replenishing yourself, as far as getting healed, because men need, just like with women, you can't, one thing I notice about women, she has to feel pretty, man. Whether it take makeup, whether it take weave, whatever it takes, a woman has to look in the mirror and feel beautiful for herself. That's just something that ain't got nothing to do with you. And when it comes to men, we have to feel respected and loved. We have to do it. So if a man got to do it overseas, if he has to do it, then he has to do that. That's going to make him a better man for whoever he's around. So with that being said, go ahead, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll talk in the back channels, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Of course.
Y'all, peace.
Peace. So with that being said, y'all, I'm about to bid y'all adieu. Any last words before I shut it down?
Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Trump.
Can't hear you, Keish.
Shout out to the panel. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to everybody.
And likewise, and Keish, I just want to say my apologies. I said no shit, Sherlock. I hope that wasn't offensive. And the points of views that were made tonight, I agree with most of them, to be honest with you. My pushback is to what you just said. How do we get some type of resolution to bring it back? And that's all I'm concerned with. I want to be able to have our community flourish like it has in different eras. And like I feel, and maybe that's where my idiocy comes from, I feel that it still can.
I think it can too, but I think it's not going to look how we want it to look. And we want it to look like we shall overcome.
No. I agree with you. I agree with your point. I agree with you, because I don't think everybody is able or willing to go there like you said.
This is what has to happen. This is what's going to happen, Sean. This is the only way it's going to work. What we think is best for us, we're gonna have to show and prove that it makes sense. And what they claim is best for them, they're gonna have to show and prove and make sense. And it's only gonna play off. You're only gonna see within the next you're only gonna know in time. Because we got a plan that we think it makes sense for us, and what we think works for men, and we got to implement that. And they got a plan that they think is going to work. So we're going to see in 10 to 15 years who made sense and who didn't.
I think it's already showing its face, and like
I think so too. But we ain't gonna call it. I think that I ain't gonna call it in early. It's still, it's like round 5 in this 12 round bout. I ain't gonna even judge it.
My last words is I think it really boils down to what we're valuing, and just sticking to and prioritizing your values. So
that's a fact.
That's what I think we miss that often, and we kind of we conflate it. We have a lot of the money is valuable. The as you said, the character is valuable. Then there's you said it very well.
I think the valuables are available, just our values are not matching. Like men, to me, are valuing real connection, and I think women are valuing exposure, experiences.
And I think what it is
you cannot have a relationship with those two people. They can maybe be friends, they can't be loved.
I agree with you, but I think what it boils down to is men like yourself, men like the gentleman that just left, are valuing similar things, and the women who we're speaking to in America specifically, and I'm gonna say Black women because that's who I'm more concerned with. Not more, but that's what I'm more interested in. Don't value those things that we are speaking about. Don't value the travel. Don't value the cultural benefits from the travel. Don't value the collective unification that we're speaking to, especially what the conclave was describing. I'm not that familiar with the efforts, but what he was describing is unification amongst men. I subscribe for unification, period. That's what makes us the most powerful. I've spoken about it with you before, and it doesn't change. And there's power in all of the unifications. There's power in the conclave group. There's power in the NOI. There's power in the feminist movement. There's power in the LGBT movement. There's power in the Jewish community. There's power in all of those places where they have found the commonality to unite. And that's really as simple as it can be. That's why I say I look for the similarities as opposed to the differences. I feel like our conversation went in a place of identifying differences instead of really embracing similarities.
I mean, when we went, man, but because of what you said.
Well,
you made it seem like you're abandoning community. Like, bro,
I asked that.
Once you see the village is crazy, you got to go out and heal and come back to the village with a new remedy.
But the whole thing is what you just said is what I was saying, and that was the similarity. I was saying come back. I didn't say nothing about leaving. I said, are we abandoning? Don't abandon. We have done that before. We have left our community and left our women stranded. We have been guilty of it.
I think,
and the results is what's happening now that we're complaining about.
I mean, it's gonna be a whole nother hour messing with you, man. I ain't about to do this with you. You know exactly what happened. It ain't got nothing to do with that, because at the same time, this is not, the women today are not abandoned. They don't need you. So it's not grandma and them who just got 6 kids hanging off her breast. Like, this is women with no children. These are women with, for example, before you go, I'm gonna just play this real quick, since you said that, because this gives my, this makes the point. I think I uploaded this one. Please tell me I did. Oh shit, you lucky, man. It was this clip of this woman who was talking to that Uncle Ruckus ass dude, Jesse Lee Peterson. And she was talking about how she's educated, the whole nine, nice looking. I don't want kids. I I want a man to travel the world. And all. It's like, this is not the what, like when we think of abandoned community, we still got this color purple women of Brewster Street, our mama and them in our mind. These women ain't that. They get into the money. They got access to stuff. They live in an insulated society that protects them from their own ignorance. They don't have that same need like that. So you fighting for somebody who don't even look at shit like that. Like you think they tell you what it is. They don't give a fuck about that shit, bro.
I agree with you, but they don't understand what they
That's
need.
why I say we need to come for the children. So you talking about the children?
No, what I'm saying is, them too, but I agree with you, but they don't understand what they need.
But they have to find out. That's the only way they're gonna know. They're not gonna lie from it. Come with us. No, that day is over.
I agree. I agree to that point, because finding out sometimes requires absence. Absent makes the heart grow fonder. So I'm not. That's why I said I didn't dispute going over there. I didn't dispute going over there. What I was disputing is
you see this how these Brooklyn dudes do.
I was saying, are we coming back? As long as we coming back, leave them. I'm not mad at the fact of giving consequences, and the consequence being removing ourselves. I'm not mad at
Bobby Blanco, what up? But the thing is, I don't even think it's like, I don't think on the men's side it's like, oh, I'm gonna show you. I think the men are saying, yo, I have no fucking choice. I'm in the desert and y'all giving me fucking sand pies. I gotta find some water. Like, I don't think I think on the women's side it's more, fuck that, I'm gonna give it to you. I told you.
I agree.
Ow.
I agree. And that right. Like, I agree. And that's why I reference Jesus often, because that's exactly
here we go.
Because once he left the Pharisees, who were basically trying to feed him all of the sand, and he went to the Gentiles.
That martyrdom shit. See, that's what got us messed up. This martyrdom shit. Because Jesus did all that for the people. And what did the people do? They killed his ass.
My point is, I get that. I'm not the martyrism. That's what you're focusing on. I'm talking specifically about
Jesus. He ultimately died.
He didn't. I wasn't talking about
the people he tried to save. They killed him. They voted for him to die.
See how you went into a place that I
didn't
think about?
Sean.
I didn't.
Jesus Barabbas. They said Barabbas. He turned bread into loaves. All that.
What did I just say? He left the Pharisees, who did not value what he was offering, and he went to the Gentiles, who did. Then to your point, the Gentiles took it for granted and didn't appreciate it.
What did we learn from Jesus? That's why when Jesus went in according to the, so what did we learn from that? That's why they say when Jesus come back, he coming with what? He coming with a sword this time. So that means he like, man, fuck all that shit. I don't give a fuck who like me or don't. I'm gonna kick what I gotta kick, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So that's what I'm saying. We've been brainwashed by the Christ story, but really don't understand the whole story. It's like, yo, he got lined up by the same people. Everybody that put their neck out for the people killed them. One of my favorite quotes was by Elijah Muhammad. He said, why do our people love the devil? Why do our people love the devil, Sean? Sean froze. Elijah Muhammad had one of the famous quotes, ladies and gentlemen. He said, why do our people love the devil? They said, you know why people love the devil? Because the devil gives them nothing. And it took me a long time to realize what that meant. And it's like, when I look at people and I look at who gets applauded, who gets your love, who gets your adoration, it's mostly the people who don't give a fuck about your, like, you got homies, you got friends who you like, you'll see your friends do something for a person that's not really in the clique, but they'll go out there, wait for them, but they'll take you for granted. It's like our people, especially American culture, I think it comes from religion and slavery, more importantly, Christian religion, but religion and slavery, where this country teaches you that treating people like shit is keeping it real. Slavery set a precedent for treatment in this country. That's why everybody wants to own somebody. Men want to own women, women want to own men. Everybody want to own you. And then when they get some money or get a situation, they do you dirty. There's always a rite of passage, a humiliation ritual. You join the gang, I'm gonna beat you up. You join a sorority, we gonna hate you. You join a company, we gonna send you to the basement and do all the dumb shit. You join the army, we gonna run you. This country is built on humiliation rituals. It breaks you into thinking to a point where you only got respect for people who fuck you over. You think that's real, and then people who really care about you think they fake. Our people loves the devil because the devil gives them nothing. I was watching a story the other day about there was a black man, I think he was from the Juneteenth story. He got freed, and one of the first things he did when he got his money was recruit slaves. Think about that. He come out of slavery, weapons on his back, all that good shit. As soon as he got money, he got slaves himself. We still got that same mentality. Why do our people love the devil? Because the devil gives them nothing. Look at the content. The content shows that talk about nothing got mad views. Not all of them, but a lot of them. You have real conversations, real dialogue. Ain't nobody going crazy. Ain't no ratchet shit. Ain't nobody watching that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we say what the community is. We say a lot of things. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I try to be optimistic. I be trying to give a lot of pushback to a lot of different cats in certain instances because I try to speak as if a young person is hearing me. But it's a reason why a lot of men have come to the conclusions that you have. You just touched on some of my question. Thank you. No problem. That's what I'm here for, to make you think. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, y'all. That's another episode of Philosophical Radio. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. Shout out to everybody that donated. We have Sidian pull up. Shout out to Trill pulled up. Mrs. Plum, my man Reem, Skinny, Poppy Blanco, 18th Letter. Everybody, you know. Shout out to Keish. He pulled up. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, we'll be back with more content. We're going to keep it moving. I might do something tomorrow. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. These YouTube streets kind of flooded. So you got to get in where you fit in. But these are the times where you really build your real audience. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for pulling up. And we are out.
Them niggas shrink around you, man. You know what I'm saying? They just in the space probably before you was a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But them niggas shrink when you come around. That's why them niggas don't want you around.
Situation with the genders and all of that shit that we've been hearing about. And there's nobody better than the Gore. Philosophical to come set that bitch off.
Yo, you know